About Stuart.
Your political
so I know that a lot of people
But
are using attacks and trying to take me down because they're scared of me.
Chatty Cathy, clip your string. I don't need to know.
do you still think that you are in line to be Trump's vice president?
No, it's up to Donald Trump. He's the only person who will decide this.
I asked what he said to you about being vice president.
I never tell anybody my personal conversations
Did
with
the dog story
President
come up
Trump.
in your conversation with Trump?
Poodle pumper.
I talk to President Trump all the time
about
Hound hitter.
what he is doing.
Did you bring up
Yes.
the dog?
Pooch puncher.
Enough,
Trump.
Stuart.
With Trump. Did you
This
bring up the
interview
dog
is
with Trump?
ridiculous, what you were doing right now.
So bad luck for Boudreaux and bad luck for blank.
It's up there that the argument started. You can't go anywhere until you're done. From down here, it don't look too inviting. When you're beaten down and blue, where can you run? I wouldn't wanna be you, wouldn't wanna be your friend. Not in a million years. It's up there that the argument started. Better lock the door until it ends.
Hey, it's you!
What's up, everybody?
What up, y'all? I didn't have my sunglasses, so I needed to improvise.
How you guys doing? What's up? Welcome to the Salty and Savage Show, a special edition on Tuesday. Thank you for joining us on Tuesday. Thank you for following us as we try to figure out what day we should be streaming. Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday? We don't know. Maybe all three in the future.
Yeah, there's a number of things we're working on, including whether or not, I'm even worthy of even being on this show with this young man. What up, Henry?
What up, Henry?
Salty is over there. Savage is me. Welcome to the Salty and Savage Show. We're going to talk about some shit.
We're going to talk about stuff. So how do you feel about shooting 14-month-old puppies in the face?
Jesus Christ.
In a gravel pit. How do you feel about that? How does it make you... what's your visceral reaction to that story?
To my gravel pit. The visceral reaction is oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Because first of all, gross and terrible, and I don't know. There are thousands and probably over the history of time, millions of people that treated dogs this exact same way, but you don't write it in a book when you're trying to be the vice president.
But doesn't it show you how tough she is and how she will make those tough decisions?
She's
you know what my
so
wife's reaction was, now I have another reason why I will never vote for a woman for president. It is now Kristi Noem and Glenn Close in what was that movie? Glenn Close, Clear and Present, when Harrison Ford is the president.
Air Force One.
Air Force One. So the reason why my wife will not
Get off
vote
my
for
plane.
a woman for president is because the inability of Glenn Close's vice president character to make a necessary decision, and then now is Kristi Noem shooting a puppy in the middle of the face.
Oof.
So there you go. That's one vote lost for women as president from my wife, who is a woman.
I mean, I certainly wouldn't hold all women to the puppy in the face shooting standard, but okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
What's
New
up,
Adventures
chat?
of Henry has a new villain, dude. Kristi Noem is the new Cruella de Vil.
Cruella de Vil.
Get your Photoshops ready, chat. Get your Photoshops ready. Kristi Noem.
Kristi Noem de Vil.
Although, am I the only one that thinks that Kristi Noem kind of looks like Eric Stoltz from Mask, the movie Mask? With Cher?
It's weird because it's almost like she's actively trying to look more like him while also being like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. I honestly think that Eric Stoltz wearing the mask from the movie Mask could actually double as a biopic for Kristi Noem, because good God. Stop with the plastic surgery, age gracefully. It's like, not cute.
Wait, hold on. I haven't put enough charcoal on my brow yet.
Good look. Her skin looks like someone used it to clean their cast iron skillet.
Ooh,
That's what her
nice.
face looks like.
Which
she
is,
just-
and I mean, that's a service that we all need. I mean, I have cast iron. I appreciate a good cast iron face.
I think
If
maybe
she
her face should be used to clean a skillet right after it's been used for shooting a puppy in the face.
I'm really upset you even brought that up. I talk to Trump all the time. We always talk. No, not about the dog. No, not about the poodle pumper. No.
All right. Andrew Campbell, who is from Australia, thanks for coming to and watching and
Welcome
hanging
to
out
the
with
show,
us.
Andrew.
He's like, what is going on? I feel you, dude. So in American politics, we have a governor of one of our states, South Dakota. She wrote in a book that 20 years ago, she took a 14-month-old puppy that was a German wire hair dog. And because it failed at going on a hunting trip, you're not supposed to take them on a hunting trip until they're 2 years old and well trained. And then also got into a neighbor's chicken coop. She decided to drag that puppy to a gravel pit and shoot it in the middle of the face and kill it until it was dead. It died to death. And then she wrote about it in her book, her new book that she's on a press tour about. And everyone's horrified about it. And she's just like, this is what we do in the country. We murder dogs. Instead of adopt them out, I don't know, get better at training, be patient, be a decent human being. Maybe wait till it's older and not a puppy. No, she decided to murder a puppy. And so now we all hate her because she's a horrible, horrible, terrible person who cheats on her husband, allegedly, and murders puppies.
Reportedly from her mouth. That's
She's also been running around the country with Corin Lewandowski cheating on her husband, allegedly.
Corey Lewandowski, huh? Interesting.
Anyway,
that's not even what we're here to talk about.
You know what? She is. She's the Chris Christie of South Dakota.
Yikes.
Accurate.
Yikes.
Yeah.
This is her bridge.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
This is her bridge.
I personally, as someone who has family that have been
And
farmers.
look at Andrew's response. He's like, Jesus Christ. He's like, what the fuck? Oh my God.
Dude, right?
I'm glad I asked.
Like, I was in Future Farmers of America when I was in high school. My grandfather was a farmer. My great grandfather was an agricultural
FFA,
scientist.
absolutely. I believe my better half is an FFA.
When
as a
dogs
kid.
fail like that, you adopt them out, or you make them pets, or you get better at training because it was 14 months old. It still got a puppy brain.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's an idiot.
All right. Anyways, moving on from horrible, evil topics of terrible.
Speaking of idiots, what are we talking about next?
What are we talking about next?
Oh, the a very well-known group of young men
and
decided to change their name, and now women decided to change their name. We're not talking about NSYNC or 98 Degrees or Faith Plus One. We, for our South Park fans out there, we're talking about the Boy Scouts, Boy Scouts of America, the BSA, Boy Scouts of America. I have hatchets with their emblem etched into it because they are so ingrained in Americana and have been for an extremely long time. So they have decided to change their name because I guess they aren't exclusive to boys anymore, right? The girls are allowed in Boy Scouts. So they've changed their name to Scouting America. We're just aimlessly wandering. It's not even just boys now. So what do we think about this?
It's been ridiculous for a long time because the feminazi, and I say feminazi, like feminazi didn't see that you should have made a sandwich and you would have been able to keep a man. You know, like the continual push on everything that has to do with young men, boys, and men in general. Like, men get no spaces. So Girl Scouts get to keep their group. Boys can't be part of Girl Scouts. Not that we would want to, because we don't want to paint nails and talk about nothing and be completely pointless and be basically less effective scouts. So we had our own club called Boy Scouts, and the feminazis didn't make a sandwich for their husband, hence now why they're married to their cats. Decided that was not okay, and that it wasn't enough that girls had their own group, that girls needed to invade in the boy spaces. And I have a problem with this, number one, because who's running the Boy Scouts? Get a spine. Say no. Be a man, for crying out loud. You don't need to let women in everything, because let's be honest, they don't need to be in our club, okay? They got
All
their
right.
own little club.
So
They can talk in the bath. They go to the bathroom together. They have Girl Scouts. They can leave Boy Scouts alone.
Check this out. So girls have now, have been included in part of the Boy Scouts, and the Boy Scouts have had to change their name because of it. The Girl Scouts, I said the same thing earlier. I spoke with my partner. I was like, oh my God, what are we? There's got to be boys in the Girl Scouts then, right? There has to be. No, wait for it. Wait for it. The Girl Scouts are a single gender organization and do not plan to admit boys, because research suggests that girls learn best in an environment that is girl-led, girl-friendly, and all girl.
You know what else researchers have shown? But seriously, you know what else researchers have shown? That when men work with only men in the corporate environment, they're more productive.
Well,
so if we're going off the benefits to, exclusive gender groups, maybe, you ever wonder why people in corporate America work longer hours now, and that somehow correlates with women entering the workforce? Do you think those two things might be related? I'm just saying.
Nobody needs to be at home
I'm wondering.
because she clearly can't be cooking.
Because feminazi didn't see that making a sandwich would have kept her man.
But like Simply Green said, Boy Scouts versus Girl Scouts existed for a reason, and it wasn't necessarily for a sexist reason or anything like that. It was it's for the same reason that the Girl Scouts are like, look, girls just do better when there's good girl power around them, and the good Powerpuff Girl juju working, for all of us girls. Boys do have an extremely similar thing, Broadway bro down, we gotta.
Well, let's be honest. Together. Guys need their space because we need to be able to tell poop and fart jokes. Blue flame at a camp, when we're camping at 12 years old, we need to be able to blue flame and do all that kind of stuff. And we can't do that with girls around, okay? So we need our club so that we can do all the gross stuff that we like to do when it's just guys and girls aren't around. Because we get weird and dumb around girls. And we're weird and dumb, but
especially
it's
when
different.
we're young. When we're young, we get absurd around girls.
We need to be able to fart, okay? We need a club where we can sit around a campfire and fart.
He's Simply Green. Is it you? Are you just typing for Simply Green because you're saying the same stuff at the same time?
It's like Blazing Saddles. That scene in Blazing Saddles where they're sitting around the campfire talking about the beans that they ate cannot happen with women present. Okay, these are the sacred traditions that are getting ruined by women invading our space.
Now, in all fairness, I wasn't a Boy Scout, but I was a Webelow, which is the step below Boy Scouts. It was a very interesting organization, and I got taught, it was like a friend's dad or something that was our local cub den, whatever the hell they call it, leader. They make you feel like animals. Oh, we're a den, we're a cub. It's like the first thing anybody tells you after school is it's like no. Don't make them turn you into an animal. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Don't let them dehumanize you.
Well, I think the next step is for boys to be able to join the Girl Scouts, and then we can just rename Girl Scouts, because what is Girl Scouts?
Here's the thing.
What should be the new name of Girl Scouts?
We rename Girl Scouts right now, regardless of, because if you think about Girl Scouts, what is it really other than an extremely, like a multi-million-dollar child labor cookie selling corporation? That's all it is. I mean, what are they teaching? Because I'm not going to lie, 99% of the time when any of their parents are involved in the Girl Scouting, it's to sell the cookies. It's not to be like, oh, we were doing our crochet badge, or we were doing fire making badge, or we were doing anything else. It's always like, hey, can you buy my kids cookies?
That's the only other time I ever hear about the Girl Scouts is those really expensive, super disappointing cookies. I'm sorry, they're overrated.
Some of them are good, but
overrated.
They are. I believe they are overrated. They are good.
And I think the level of harassment that I get from going into the grocery store and leaving the grocery store,
when you work, did you ever work in an office with like cubicles where like there were like 2 or 3 competing people who were like, no, my kid, how many boxes are you going to buy from my kid though? No, but my kid though.
Yeah.
No, but my kid though. Yeah. How many boxes though?
None. You know why? Those cookies suck. I'd rather go to the grocery store and get some Pepperidge Farm cookies, which taste way better and are way cheaper than that crap that I don't even know where it's made or what's in it, because I don't trust feminazis should have been making their husband sandwiches.
We got a bunch of free cute labor. Let's con them into selling cookies. It's like the magazine sales as a kid. It's like, who's paying for this? Because
seriously.
What magazines are getting long subscriptions from people, and magazines shouldn't even exist anymore. Like there's no way they still do that, right?
Yeah, no.
Hail boys, hail chat.
Special guest from all the way in Japan, Discovery.
All right.
You should totally go check out Discovery's YouTube channel. He makes hilarious videos in Discovery. Please send me the link to the latest video. We will show them on our show because they're hilarious. If you want to laugh, and then also laugh maybe at some of the dumbest people in American indie comic scene, check out his channel. It is very hilarious.
Dude, this guy, he is hilarious. Disappointing cookies at 10, disappointing girlfriend at 20, disappointing wife at 30, fulfilled divorcee at 40.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
wow.
he's already a starred gem part of our chat.
Yeah.
First time.
Dude, welcome. Thanks for coming.
What's
dude.
up, chat?
And there's
Bear
just posted a link to Discovery's channel in the chat. Check that out, man.
Oh, check it out.
They just posted that up. We're always down to give you guys a shout out and spread the love, because there's a lot of talented creatives out there, and I don't think people making indie content talk about it enough. A few of us do, but the bigger channels, they're grifters. Anyway, so I think that since
what are we gonna call them?
Boy Scouts of America has been changed to Scouting America. Maybe Girl Scouts could change to Scouting the Shoe Closet?
Oh, man. Scouting Nordstrom Rack?
Scouting Ross.
No. What about the Cookie Monsters?
Man,
it's a little too on nose.
No, I don't know. That might be pretty good. How about chatting? Just chatting. Chatting America, because let's be honest, are girls really scouting, or are they just more like chatting all the time? Because if you've ever worked at an open office situation, you know who's chatting all the time. It's the Girl Scouts.
It's Kathy.
It's Kathy.
Goddamn chatty Kathy.
And yes, we're super sexist here. Sort of. Not really. I don't know, man.
But like, what if it's more like just generally having a conversation about
sissy scouting America?
Oh man,
well, it might be a little too on the.
I believe you had you had one earlier when we were talking about this. Scouting.
That would actually make the group more productive if they learned how to make some sandwiches. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, get a woman that'll make you sandwiches
for the rest of your life. Yes,
for the rest of your life.
Yes. So what else is less effective scouting, or let's see. How about a series of discussions about our body disguised as scouting?
Scouting body positivity. No, we don't want the children to die, okay? Because when you're obese, you're dying. Stop. Put the burger down.
Scouting.
Go for a walk. Okay?
Scouting for extra cal-cals.
Scouting for maybe less cal-cals, because seriously, Lizzo,
and those cookies,
you're dying.
Whoa, that's not even wow. Speaking of, she's a scout for girls everywhere. It's Kathy, Karen, and Kumar. So I don't know. I mean, Girl Scouts, I feel like it is a bit of a misnomer, because we all know that it's just a big business, even though that there are some things that I'm sure, let me just go ahead and hands to whoever, there are some things that they teach these young ladies, and a lot of it is frankly about fucking business and selling and how to convince people to do what you want them to. Really, It's almost like they're master manipulators. They're like, look, these people aren't going to want to even fucking talk to you.
It's
but
almost like that would be a great group for boys too. Since boys are falling behind in school,
they're so falling.
They're not they're falling behind in college, they attend college at a lower rate. Suicide is way higher for boys. When a man and a woman have the same position in the same company, the man makes less. So like maybe you're saying for Girl Scouts to have their own group, that's positive and we should be for that, which I agree. And boys maybe should have their own group so that they can learn, because boys are kind of different. If anyone's ever been around children, you can tell they're very different. We have a few parents in the audience tonight. They could attest to how different boys and girls are. So maybe at a small age, like letting boys have their own group and girls have their own group might actually be positive for both.
And okay, so let me just say this. I do like the fact that there are girls who are like, you know what? I don't want to be a fucking Girl Scout. I want to be a Boy Scout. Because I want to learn some shit.
You know what I have to say? You know what I have to say to that?
And I want to fucking know what's going on.
You know what I have to say to that, though?
What? What do you got to say?
2 tiers. 2 tiers! You can either join the Girl Scouts or be alone! Okay? Boys need their... Girls need their...
I just have to
crowbar separation.
I just have to say that regardless of the I don't know, what would you call it? The influencer nature of like, oh, look, I'm just a girl and I do this boy stuff. But I do appreciate that there are genuinely young girls, young women out there who are like, you know what? I want to learn how to build a fire. And apparently that organization isn't really going to fucking tell me how to do that. So I actually do want to learn how to build a fire. I do want to know how to, and there are girls who have become Eagle Scouts and Eagle Scouts, as you know, and I'm sure some of our viewers know some shit. Like there's some, almost bushcrafters. Like they should, at that point, some stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So then there should be a new group called Women Scouts, where they could learn to build a fire and make sandwiches. Okay. Like, because the guys need their own group. Cheese, okay. Cheese. Have you ever had a grilled cheese on a cast iron skillet over an open fire? It's delicious. That's what the Women Scouts should teach. They can have Women Scouts. Guys need their own space. We need their own space. Girls need our own space. Hey, look, I don't think dudes in a dress should be able to go into the women's bathroom, and I don't think girls should be in Boy Scouts or Eagle Scouts. I think that, let's get back to basics, because we were all a lot better off when we did this kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, there is a bit of a false nostalgia principle
and
there.
And the Girl Scouts don't need to be all sissy. They could do that. They could do the manly stuff. They could broaden their horizons and not just be cookie pimps.
Any day.
Come on.
Any day they could not be the cookie pimps. So what are the good names? What are the good names? Did the chat
cookie pimps?
Any other
cookie pimps.
The cookie pimps is pretty good. We had some good ones earlier when you and I were just chatting and coming up with ideas for the show. We had some what are the Girl Scouts going to be called? The Girl Scouts could be called how about Ralph's parking lot attendees? Because
parking lot attendees.
Because that's pretty much what it is. You got an Aldi's, you got a Ralph's,
Gelson's Market Harassers.
You got a Gelson's or a Fairway in your area.
Aldi.
Guess who runs the parking lot? The Girl Scouts. Yo, this is our territory. Look out. Oof. They're just like, they're chalking tires. They're like, you've been here too long, bro.
Is Aldi assholes a little too harsh? Is that a little too harsh? Aldi assholes?
Aldi assholes. I doubt that.
Hey, I got a special message. I have a special message. Rock the Casbah.
Rock the Casbah. I haven't seen you in a while.
My nephew love the comic salty. Thanks for helping the common gifter and the grifter. Sorry, not the grifter.
Silence do good. Silence do good.
I'm so confused. But hey, I'm glad. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad that makes me happy. I have a comic book. You should check it out. Silence do good. It is great, and maybe we should talk in the comic book.
I think there's an Indiegogo that's there. I'm sure the Baron will drop it. The Baron's all about it.
Yeah. Anyway. Dude, I don't know, guys. I say...
What do you think? What do you think about the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts changing their
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm over it. I think that the decision to eliminate the Scouts as being for boys was a bad mistake, and this is only downhill from here. It is. Here's my final take on it. I think it's bad. I think it's bad because boys need their own space just like girls do, because boys need groups to be to have, like, you know, like being part of a karate class, you know, somewhere where you can get discipleship, structure, mentorship, discipleship, like learning from other men who are slightly older, boys that are slightly older, and then men, where they can learn from each other how to be better men, creates opportunity for men to learn how to be good men. Good men become good fathers. Good fathers are the reason, are imperative and are necessary to have strong families. But see, strong families make successful people, and successful people are harder to manipulate and enslave. And there's why they're probably doing this.
And that's what this is all about, folks. You're all fucking slaves.
Just saying.
He's just saying. And
Boy Scouts got democrated.
And that's salty for you, folks. You just got saltied. All right. Well, how about, what are you drinking, buddy?
I don't know what I'm drinking. I think I'm drinking Jameson.
You think you're drinking Jameson? You should be able to smell it and know right away.
Yeah, I'm drinking Jameson.
Yeah, you're drinking Jameson.
Drinking Jameson.
I can smell it from here. I had a brewski, but because I'm doing the big move, as you can see, the studio, the studio has gotten a little inundated with boxes, and it's not even. I moved a lot around. Let's just say there were like 15 boxes here earlier, and I moved them. But nonetheless, there's so much wine that I have because I'm a wine guy apparently, and I have to box it and ship it. And I'm like, well, I guess I better drink as much as humanly possible. So we got a bottle of a little Napa Valley Cab here tonight.
Did you hear that cork pop?
A little Napa Cab, and we're gonna enjoy a little bit of this action while we move along. But hey, I really do appreciate this time, man. Thanks so much for being such an awesome host. Thanks, chat, for coming in. We just want to acknowledge, because you guys, we wouldn't be doing this if it weren't for you guys. I mean, if we did this and this was empty, then we'd just be like, why aren't we?
We would just be we would just be doing what we used to do together, you and I, on a Friday night at a bar somewhere in the San Fernando Valley, which was basically this. But
we would do this on Discord and just sit here all night. While you like draw some awesome art or something.
All night long.
All night. Okay, so what are we talking about?
I'm over the Scouts. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's pissing me off.
Oh my goodness. This was some interesting stuff, because you brought this to my attention and I didn't realize
we are both beauties, and it is the most hetero way. It is. Not that there's anything wrong with,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Hey, I watched My Two Dads growing up. It was a great show.
Yeah. Were they homosexualists?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Paul Reiser wasn't playing a homosexualist?
Nope. Hard to believe, right? No.
Hard to believe. Hard to believe. I like Paul Reiser.
He's fantastic.
It's pretty funny.
He's good. There's a lot of good ones out there, regardless.
All right. What are we talking about next? What are we talking about next?
We were going to talk about, and this is actually kind of interesting, because you brought this up to me and I was like, wait, what? And then you kind of
I think we should do this after. I think we should go right into the best part that everyone's actually waiting for. Maybe
you give them all the good stuff up front. You don't want to
right in the middle, like a sandwich,
which women should learn how to make for their husbands.
Oh, like a sandwich, like women should make.
That's hilarious. I will still make a better sandwich. God damn it.
I make a really good sandwich, but there's something about a woman who loves you, that lovingly crafts you a sandwich, pours you a nice cold beverage, and you just start eating that thing as she lovingly looks at you. That's my experience. But then again,
teach us your ways.
I married an anti-feminist, so.
If only we could be so.
If only all of you could be as lucky as me. You would be happy like I am. Yeah, so we have a top 10 list.
I'm doing
probably going to be a lot of debate on this one, everybody.
Man.
Chat, we welcome the involvement. Your disagreements, your agreements, your cheers, your jeers.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. But we're talking about the top 10 like worst, most evil movie villains. Not like your favorite. Not the ones that you're like, oh, that guy is so like he's such a good villain.
It's the guy that you hated. You were like, oh, that guy's the worst.
Or just the way he worked was so diabolical. And just the main action, you know, sometimes it's just one. There's an example in here that it's just one action that they do in the film that you go, oh my God, and it completely changes your view of what this and who this character is. So
like, who would it be?
Who would it be? Is the chat chiming in? What do we got? Don't forget to hit the like button, folks. Listen to the Baron in the chat because the Baron handles everything. Watch out. Thanks to the Baron once again. Chatting and coding. Is that, man, if the girls learned to code and then the Girl Scouts just became chatting and coding, that would actually be a super useful. Okay, my bad. Okay,
chatting
anyway.
and coding.
Sorry, it came from Simply Green. Chatting Nights on Discord. He was just talking about himself, like, Nights on Discord, chatting and coding. But nonetheless. All right, so we're talking about the evilest of villains. And number 10, we have from a movie that it's one of those that if you see the movie, you go, oh my God, it's so great. But you don't necessarily always think about this in your list of like greatest movies or whatever. But the movie Unforgiven, directed by Clint Eastwood himself, an unbelievable cast, and Gene Hackman's character, Little Bill Daggett, who, oh man, he's gonna kill you what you did to
Little Big Bill Daggett. So I love Unforgiven. I think it's one. It's
so
definitely it's probably on my top 5 favorite westerns of all time.
Yeah, westerns. Absolutely, it's in the top 5.
And when you watch this movie, you're just like, dude, I just want this guy to get shot in the middle of the face. He is the worst person on the face of the earth.
Buckshot to the face,
right to the face, and you're just like rooting for Clint Eastwood by the end because you're just like, this guy sucks.
But Little Bill Daggett, this is like an unbelievable film. It's an unforgettable film. Please, if you have not seen this, go watch Unforgiven.
Yeah, it's really good, guys.
It's one of the earlier Clint Eastwood directing things.
Yeah,
too.
it is.
So it's super good. It showed his chops, which were unreal. And any of the there's a bunch of stuff online about people talking about working behind the scenes. I think Gene Hackman even, but working for Clint Eastwood was a delight and also super frightening because he expected you to be a professional and he knew you were a professional, so he would almost always just take the first take, and he's like, why would we do it again? You guys just did that's what you just gave your performance, right? And then you're like,
that's a director with good instincts. That's just a director with good instincts, though.
But nonetheless, Little Bill Daggett, go back to this movie because this guy is absolutely terrible. And he kills him for what he did to Ned. God damn it.
All right, who's number 9? Who's number 9?
Number 9. This is going to be kind of a regular one. So most people would put this probably higher up on the list. But Palpatine.
Palpatine. I got a really bad picture of him.
Side of the Force.
Power.
So Palpatine
he's pretty bad, man. You want him dead, dude.
Yeah,
you're just like he's
pretty atrocious,
bro.
You cannot stand him for the entirety of the series because you know exactly who he is the whole time. There's
highly manipulative. SOB.
The blinders are off for the viewers, so it's hard not to just despise this guy. Not to mention that he uses his evil to survive over hundreds of years, just to go into clone after clone, just to ruin another trilogy. Come on, man!
You know who that's similar to? You know who that's
evil.
Similar to? Actually,
go on.
I think that there's someone else that's very, very much like that.
Who?
Let me pull it up here.
Who do we got?
Oh my gosh, I can't even do it.
Are you having an ish?
I'm always having an ish.
Commish.
This
is Palpatine at number 9.
Is this the same person?
Who are we looking at? You're not showing me.
Palpatine right here.
Don't worry, folks.
Is that the same person?
God. Oh my God.
That might be the same person, guys.
You know what? If you were just basing this on stock trades, then absolutely you would know it's 100%.
Yeah, so Emperor Palpatine, number 9. Look at the that is Emperor Palpatine.
It took you so long, but that was such a good payoff. I was like, who the heck?
Guys.
I'm like, who is he trying to pull up? That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
I'm new to this. Okay.
That is fantastic. All right. So
All right.
that was number
8.
9. Moving on. Dolores
Umbridge.
Harry Potter series.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
dude.
my
She's
Lord.
the quintessential Democrat that you live in a HOA with. It's like she is the ultimate like Democrat, right? And then she runs for city council or she runs for House Representatives and just is like the worst human being on the face of the earth. She's a living embodiment of a Democrat wizard.
A Democrat wizard.
Am I wrong? Chat, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Dolores Umbridge the Grey.
Yeah. Simply Green gets what I'm throwing down. She is she is Tipper Gore in the Harry Potter universe.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Dude, totally.
All right. So Dolores Umbridge, atrosh, and all of the Harry Potter fans out there will probably be like, ooh, that was actually a really good nod. Good shout on the Dolores Umbridge right there. All right, moving on.
Your British always goes Australian,
It all of a sudden went to Australian like
it always goes limey prisoner. Limey prisoner. You go from limey to limey prisoner.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And Andrew in the chat's gonna be like, God damn it, this guy keeps ruining the Australian accent. All right, so we're moving on. We got who do we got next? Out of Dolores. Oh, everyone knows when it comes to evil and people that we cannot stand, that you're just like, you genuinely dislike, even though it's a great character, you genuinely dislike how evil their intent is and all that.
Thanos. Obviously Thanos from the Avengers series, right? The last 2. He's just he kills everybody.
Half of everyone. Bye.
And like, it's just like, yeah, no. Why? Because what?
If he could do that just to LA County, that might actually be all right.
He is the Bill Gates of the Marvel universe.
The Gil Bates?
The Bill Gates of the Marvel universe. He wants to. He wanted to vax. If he could have come up with a vaccine to kill everybody, he would have done that. Like he is the Bill Gates of.
Would Bill Gates have done that?
If Bill Gates could find the 5 Infinity Stones or the 6 Infinity Stones, I'm sorry, he would snap his fingers in a friggin' heartbeat to get rid of half the planet.
You're talking about the guy who had like forever an open competition to, if somebody could actually redesign the modern toilet, there was like a huge prize for someone to actually, because nobody had redesigned the toilet in years, aside from these, very interesting like Japanese. The guy who wants to pay for someone to redesign the toilet, is Thanos.
Yeah.
That's not okay. That's an interesting take. All right. Coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 6. And as we move along, we're going to cruise through these, but the top 5, we're going to get hot on those.
We're going to have we're going to have fun on the top 5. That's for sure.
So at number 6, Raul Silva. And a lot of people are going to be like, wait, what? Oh yeah, that's right. Skyfall. That is where the most recent James Bond arc got so hot and so good. And probably what this character was the catalyst for everything turning, for James Bond realizing that everything he was doing was an absolute lie. He was actually like most of the stuff that MI6 was sending him out to do, like what MI6 wasn't actually doing that because he actually wasn't even supposed to be out doing stuff, yada, yada. I mean, this character is so great because he just manipulates. He knows everything.
But Javier Bardem always is it Bardem or Bardem? Bardem. And you would know because you worked at Extra. He always plays a great villain, and you probably could put any one of the villains that he's played
replace
in this spot.
Exactly. The No
really,
Country
really
for Old Men character could easily be replaced right on this.
That might be a top 10 list we do sometime. Best actors as villains.
Best actors who are the best.
Multiple villains.
Yes. And there's another one on here who people will agree is definitely going to be on that list as well. But
there was a heated debate
so good.
when we were prepping for the show, Henry, about whether we do his character from No Country for Old Men or this one, and we went this way because we like to be more in the fantasy realm of entertainment often, although we have a couple in here that aren't. But that's one of the reasons. But it's like you could have.
You could have just swapped it. It's like the other character is so like genuinely emotionless and evil. Like at the same, it's so good. All right, so
you could turn on your notifications, Uncapped Turtle. Welcome to the show, by the way.
What up, Uncapped? All right, yeah, welcome to the show, by the way. He's like, wait a minute, what did I miss? Hold on. We talked about the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and why they should both have new names, and they're both called Uncapped. Okay, so no, we're coming in hot. This is now the top 5 evil villains, people that are despisable, not only just like for what they do, not villains you love necessarily, but you're just like, God, this motherfucker's so evil. And number 5 is kind of an interesting one. It's a little old school, but Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. If you have gone through high school English, you most likely read this book. And Nurse Ratched is a fucking bitch. So she is so
Earmuffs.
She takes these people who and you know the book obviously sets up that these guys aren't all crazy, but they are in what at the time is a very dated loony bin, and she treats them as such because she's just the nurse that knows everything.
Do they do the JFK special?
The lobotomy. They do a bunch of the electrical, and then
or is that the Kennedy special?
They do at one point. Yeah, they do at one point. But just for a taste of how like absolutely diabolical she is. There's a character who's, I mean, he's out of his gourd, and literally the things that he fears most is like his mother like coming and not. Even though his mother is like not an issue, this guy is in the loony bin. But she's like, what if I tell your mother about what you did? And this guy loses his mind because she knows exactly.
Well, don't talk about it. Let's just watch it.
But it's a setup, and you just watch her face.
No!
She's just like, see,
evil, man.
See, and it's just a matter of time. And you have to read the book. She's so twisted and so evil. It's Reagan closing.
This is not untrue. Uncapped Turtle says that book led to Reagan closing the asylums, leading directly to our modern homeless problem because of emotional Karens. That was a mistake. Reagan had a couple of mistakes. Outlawing fully automatic firearms was one of them, and then the other one was that.
Well, what was interesting is at around that same time, what happened is there was an article, like a medical article, that came out, and it was, or maybe it was a book, I don't remember. It's called like Being Sane in Insane Places, and it was all about
that's the third one. Sorry. That's the third one.
Who went into an asylum as a completely sane person who was like a student of psychology and all this stuff. And if you even all of the things you telling the people in the insane asylum, I'm not insane, I'm just fine, that all of that was reinforcement for them thinking you were insane. And they completely, as soon as those findings came out, they completely changed the way that they looked at all of these people in these asylums, because they were like, well, maybe they're not all crazy, and they started letting people go.
Yeah. The Baron says all because of women. So like the bad choices that Reagan made were all because of women.
Oh, Nancy.
Man.
Nancy's
the worst. Can you actually trust a divorced man to make tough decisions when women are nagging them?
Damn it, Nancy.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you can't trust Adam.
Well, okay. So enough about that. Next, who else is on I forgot that we were even doing a list.
Oh, we're doing a list, right? Top 10.
Scar.
The ones Scar, yeah.
From your childhood. This is just a gut-wrenching scene. I mean, you can't even. There's
so
almost
bad.
nothing.
Jeremy Irons voicing the character. So good.
When you were a child, there was nothing that prepared you for this.
Help me!
It's so good. And yes, and the voice acting was top notch.
Yeah, that was
Tippy top
a really
notch.
good scene. You're like, no.
All right, so
I just remember, okay, real quick. So when I first saw the trailer for Lion King was in the theaters when I was a kid, and all I heard, the opening was like, I am your father. And I was like, is this Star Wars? It was Lion King. He was like, dang it.
I know that
it's a
voice.
cartoon.
All right, so that was 4. Scar from Lion King, super evil. Coming in hot at number 3. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's such a good movie, and it changed cinema. It changed the way that they score cinema. It changed a lot of things. And we're talking about Commodus in The Gladiator.
The worst, dude.
Oh my God, this guy. This is like just a little taste of when he started to turn into a dick.
If you're very good, tomorrow night I'll tell you the story of Emperor Claudius. He was betrayed by those closest to him, by his own blood. They whispered in dark corners and went out late at night and conspired and conspired. But the Emperor Claudius knew that they were up to something. He knew they were busy little bees.
The kid,
Terrible Johnny Cash, wonderful villain.
the kid was
Joaquin
like
Phoenix.
awkward.
He's like, I kind of think that this isn't what you're. What I
Wait, this sounds like a double entendre.
You know who would have been better in that role, but was probably too old by then, was Haley Joel Osment.
Oh yeah, he already saw Dead People.
He already saw Dead People.
It's too late. It's too late. All right. So coming in, that was number 3, and I
That
mean
was
we're
number
getting
3.
pretty heavy when it comes into these. I mean, at a top 10 list, you know, you're coming in right near the right top. We're coming in with someone that everyone who's seen this film is going to be like, absolutely.
And almost was going to be number 1, but number 1. Ooh,
Number one's a doozy.
Yeah, but almost. Hans Landa, almost played by I don't even know. The guy's one of the greatest, most prolific actors
Christoph
of our
Waltz,
generation.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The guy is so good. Every single role he's in is incredible.
Single role, dude.
Let's
I love
give you
him.
just a quick taste. So this is what at the very beginning of the movie, I believe he arrives at this French home. He is suspicious that they I don't know, might be harboring some.
Hold on, real quick. No.
Oh my God, no way.
No.
No.
We're doing villains of cinema. Eric July's never been in a movie, okay?
We did bring this up, though. We did bring it up.
He's never been in a movie, but
we chatted about this beforehand.
He was
we were
in
like,
a television show. He was in a television show.
You're not retarded. You're just slow.
Okay? But yeah, no, it's not Eric July. It's not.
All right. So Hans from Inglourious Bastards, and this is just a clip. It was such a good clip because he just manipulates this guy. He speaks in French, and then he's like, "Oh, I've exhausted my French." And then he speaks in English, and then when he realizes that he's got what he wants, he switches back to French. And
Il me semble que nous en avons terminé. Ah, mesdames, je vous remercie pour le temps que vous m'avez consacré. Nous n'ennuierons pas votre famille plus longtemps. Adieu.
wow. I mean, that whole scene is so good. The tensity, the level of just like your blood is pumping because he sees right through this guy, and the dude acting as the farmer is phenomenal. He doesn't get the credit. Sitting across from Christoph Waltz, you get 0 credit because Christoph owns the fucking scene.
Yeah, even though that guy is you're. I think the good thing about that scene is you feel like the farmer.
Yes, you feel like you're being interrogated, and you lose your. And then when you realize, oh shit, he knows. There's like almost a thump. There's that little double. Oh, it's so good, man.
Yeah, dude.
He is so good. So that's why he comes in at number 2. Who was
Number
it?
2.
What happened on the comments? What
It
popped
was
up?
just it's a very excellent scene. It's an excellent
my
scene.
God.
It's very dark. It is.
so
It's very
good.
dark. It's
It's
actually
very well
a really
lit.
good film. Yeah.
It's very well lit, but it's very dark.
All right. Who's our number 1? Our number 1.
Dude,
We
this
should
is-
have music for. We should figure out some music for number 1. When we do another one, we do some kind of drum roll or something.
do we have-
Something.
Do we have a drum roll?
I don't know. I don't think we do.
We have.
Oh, that'll work. Crossing the finish line.
Number one. Number one.
The worst villain in cinema history.
I don't even know
of
if you guys
all
are ready
movies.
Nobody in the chat has any idea who we're about to reveal
The worst villain.
as the worst villain. Nobody in the chat. There's
Absolute
absolutely
worst
no
villain.
way. There's absolutely no way. And you ready for
Just
it, guys?
play the clip. Just play the clip.
Just play the clip. Okay.
Just play the clip.
We're not even gonna. We're just gonna play the clip.
No, just play the clip.
Here it is, folks. And by the way, deal with it.
His name's Forrest.
Like me.
I named him after his daddy.
He got a daddy named Forrest too?
The worst villain, Jenny.
Jenny.
From Forrest Gump.
The
Absolute worst villain of
biggest-
all time.
Gaslighting, terrible person, Jenny.
See you next Tuesday, Jenny.
You are terrible. You are the worst. Ladies and gentlemen,
Absolutely worst.
get in the chat
Hands
and let us
down.
know how much you agree with the fact that Jenny is atrocious.
Terrible. The worst villain of all time.
Oh my
It's just
gosh.
like, oh, hey, Forrest, let me play with your emotions all of your life. And then one day, I'm going to sleep with you because I'm lonely, because I'm a horrible person that has had multiple guys run through me, and now I'm lonely and it's raining and I just want to be loved because no one will love me because I have terrible taste in men, and then disappear because I can't be in a relationship with you because you're simple-minded, and then disappear, and then, oh, now you're a millionaire. Guess what? You got a kid. Get a DNA test, Forrest. Get a DNA test. That's all I have to say.
I've been keeping all your clippings so I know how much money you made. Oh, by the way, I have AIDS.
Yeah, dude, she is so bad, she gave AIDS a bad name. Because what would you rather have? AIDS or that piece of crap lying around? I would say AIDS. I would say AIDS.
I tell you what.
Magic Johnson is better off than Forrest Gump. Okay?
Now, wow. All right.
Yeah.
Jenny. So the number one worst villain coming in hot is
The DNA
Jenny.
test says you're an idiot, Forrest.
You're welcome.
We knew, though. We knew.
You're all welcome.
On the hook for 18 years.
Oh,
Sucker. Sucker. Couldn't find anybody else to wife her up, so she said, hey, Forrest, you got money, and this is your kid.
No, Kaiser Sose didn't make the list, but Kaiser Sose was discussed, and he's more of a he's more of a villain that
Is
you
he
kind
a
of
villain?
he's more of a villain that you kind
Or
of
is he the protagonist?
like, or is he the star of the show? So we had a discussion. He was absolutely discussed, but by the end, you're kind of stoked that he's Kaiser Sose.
You're rooting for him. You're like, yeah, he gets away.
I don't know how villainized we really want. We're really classifying him as.
Yeah. Maybe
But
one day we'll do
valid.
we'll do a video of villains who are actually heroes.
Villains who are actually heroes. Yeah, the guys who like the movie seems to be about them being terrible, but they're the one that actually gets something done.
Yeah, like
They're the one
Mr.
that
Potter
actually,
in It's a Wonderful Life.
like Harry Potter. Wait, what?
No, Mr. Potter in It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh.
Yeah,
All right,
controversial to say the least.
So very controversial. Oh my god, the controversy. Moving on. What else? Are you still drinking Jameson? I'm drinking.
I think I have graduated from Jameson to damn whiskey.
Oh yeah, that's
Kentucky,
right. You're
or,
always
Tennessee bourbon whiskey.
You're always drinking that
It's a
stuff.
local distillery right down the street from me.
All right, let's finish off this bottle here.
I think Uncapped Turtle is not watching live because he just said 1,000%.
Jenny. That's right. You are so behind.
What up, BTM? How you doing, man? I see what
Wasn't he
you're
here
doing.
earlier.
I see what you're doing, Dave.
Hey, nice new thumbnail there, BTM. We appreciate a good thumbnail here at the Salty and Savage Show because our thumbnails are the fucking best. You're welcome.
Yeah,
by the way, you're welcome.
Yep.
I was listening, but not at the keyboard. Sure, you were.
Sure.
It's almost like it's weird. It was like he time jumped. That's so strange.
I know.
All right. So, additionally, we are going to discuss something that, you brought up to me earlier, and I didn't necessarily understand at first, but I was like, oh, this is quite fascinating. Am Elder Scrolls Online?
Oh,
is it racist? Question mark with a big question mark.
How do you guys feel? Okay, so how many gamers do we have in the chat? I play video games.
Plays Elder Scrolls.
How many people here play MMORPGs or MMORPGs? Like your World of Warcraft, your Elder Scrolls Online, Dungeons and Dragons Online, Lord of the Rings Online, Divinity. I know Henry plays Divinity.
Uncapped was playing Qbert last night.
Yeah, Uncapped was playing Qbert, which bro.
Nice.
I'm sorry.
I just downloaded a game later to my iPhone. That's how.
But we had an interesting question, and this is totally random, not even in the news. But I was, we were wondering aloud,
to each other,
are racial traits racist?
So like
traits. When you play Dungeons and Dragons, you've played Dungeons and Dragons, right, Savage?
When I was a kid, I played once or twice, so I understand the basics.
And I was I was addicted to World of Warcraft in a very unhealthy way in my 20s. And I played that game way too much. And then I go from playing, like, sometimes I play Skyrim, sometimes I play Elder Scrolls Online because I really do like the Elder Scrolls world. And I've played D&D a lot when I was younger. And so these role-playing games, they have racial traits. But, like, seriously, are racial traits kind of racist? Because a racial trait basically is saying, a
racial trait is what any race, like an elf or an orc or a troll or whatever, they have specific traits to their race, correct?
Yeah.
Like you're just, because you are this, you have specific traits to your race. So that means that your race is able to do X, Y, and Z, whereas another race is only able to do A, B, and C.
See, this is what I hate about Chrome. So you get ad blocker, and then Google is like, guess what? It doesn't work if you buy Google ads.
It's like,
this
is where the ad is at. Dude. This is where the ad was.
Like, I get an ad blocker, and they're like, no, we're still going to put it up there because we sell the ads too, because we're
all right.
terrible.
So explain why these racial traits seem to have.
Dude, but seriously, like, this is the articles that get made in the gaming community. ESO racial passes, guide, and best race for each role. Does that not sound racist? That's totally racist. Why are you saying that certain races can't play certain roles?
I mean, you can play as whoever. Okay, quick question. Can you change the race you are at any time? Or
you could change the race that you are, but does that also not double down on the racism?
I don't know, but we're not talking about real life. We're also talking about an online community. So,
but what I find hilarious is that
explain why this is
the developers
kind of
at Zaz are super woke. They're like very, very woke.
Go
like
on.
If you are on the forums at all, like to talk about the game or something, and you say remotely the slightest thing bad about the developers, they lock your thread. They're like, this is harassment. They're like the most sensitive emo bunch of wokesters in gaming right now. They are such little babies.
But what you're saying
is their game, Elder Scrolls Online, has the most, like, their racial traits affect the end game content the absolute most out of any game that I've ever played in my life, which I find ironic.
So
and hypocritical.
Your argument is that the racial traits that they give to certain races sometimes are uneven and or make the playing field not right, and or so. Yeah, he says the game. I don't know. Zoivod says not racist.
Tell me that you don't do veteran trial content without saying you don't do veteran trial content.
Well,
because Okay, let's just get into it.
Explain why.
And I do love Zavad. Me and him.
Zoivod, yeah.
Zoivod. He's a great guy. One of our friendly faces in Canada. And we thank you for joining the chat, dude. By the way, I actually love Elder Scrolls a lot. I love the game, but I just do find it funny that these bunch of woke developers have this thing where literally, I mean, and quite literally, it changes the way the game looks at the end when you're doing the highest level of content, when you're in a group and everyone's the same two races. It's weird. And you're like, I just find it funny that a bunch of woke guys are the most racist. So let's just look. So one of the games, like World of Warcraft, right? World of Warcraft is like still one of the most successful MMORPGs. And they have racials like Blood Fury, active, increase your, it's active. So meaning like you have to like, it's not passive, it's active. So you have to, it's like a spell that you have to click on. Increase your melee attack power upon use. Super, super awesome. Like at level 5, level 10. End game, it's negligible. Like it gives you a slight advantage, but not really. You can mitigate that with a lot of other racials that you have, you know, with different classes, depending on how you play and if you're good. So the balance there seems to be a little bit better. Passive, increase pets damage by 1%. Oh, 1%. And again, that affects 2 classes, warlocks and hunters. Hardiness, reduce the duration of stuns by 1/5. That one is a little unfair if you're playing PvP and you're alliance like I am, because the Horde are a bunch of whiny bitches, and when you would shadow meld, they'd be like, it's not fair that you can shadow meld and aim shot me from shadow meld and being invisible and one shot my priest.
You didn't tell me they could shadow meld. Oh man.
So super negligible, like racial
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, World of Warcraft. Like the undead, oh, you can cannibalize. So a dead body on the ground, you can eat it for health. Like really. Elder Scrolls. Okay, and then here's like Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, oh, +2 to strength, +1 to charisma, +2 to constitution. Those actually two things could balance each other out.
Each race has the racial traits that kind of like someone's a little better in another thing. It's just like playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Like some guy's a little better on rails, some guy's a little better doing an ollie. Like, it's
but
just,
like these are great because
out.
it's like, oh, maybe my Dragonborn would be really good at being a fighter, and then I could have a dwarf being like kind of like a tank cleric type character because they have a little bit more constitution. So there's balance there. So when you have like an end game party, there would be diversity in that group. Well, Elder Scrolls is like the worst. Because it is straight up, and we're getting super in the weeds, guys, but adrenaline rush. When you deal direct damage, you restore 1,005 stamina. This effect can occur once every 5 seconds.
Every 5 seconds?
That is a huge advantage for stamina DPS characters. Huge advantage. You don't get that advantage on any other race. There's no other race that has a racial that balances it out. Except maybe Dark Elves, okay? Like... So basically what you have at the end game is you're playing and everyone's a Dark Elf or everyone's a Khajiit. Like, that's pretty much everything because so everyone you're looking at, you're like, I'm the big tall Nord here and I don't belong. So now I'm relegated to being a tank instead of being DPS.
There's too much diversity?
No, there's not enough diversity because what it's saying is that only a certain amount of races could play this class in this role. And that's the racist part. And still, again, I think
you're
that it's
being
hilarious.
Limited based on your race.
Yeah.
Which is the argument.
Which is super racist and hilarious because Zaz is super woke.
Any of these games, you should be able to choose any race and start low and build your way up and be just as good once, you know, everybody gets up to a higher level. But in this case, you're saying that just certain races are just fundamentally better, and you're just going to have
you're going
to have a better time, bro.
Yeah, it's like whereas World of Warcraft is like, oh, maybe you're going to do like a 0.5% better in DPS. In this, it's like 5%, and that is a lot when you're dealing with really high end game content where you're doing trials and veteran mode, and that's like raiding and like the really like hard stuff where it takes a lot of coordination. You all need to be at your best. You need to know what you're doing. And honestly, there's guilds out there that are like, oh, you decided to roll a wood elf warden. Sorry, we need somebody that's like, you know, maybe a Khajiit necromancer.
So the
That's racist.
That is racist.
So part of the racism is the fact that because you're not the race that they want to be on their team, which almost sounds like a DEI thing. The race that they want, they're like, look, no, we're not hiring orcs right now. We're only looking for dark elves. So if you could go ahead and get to the back of the line, that's what you're saying.
It's basically the NFL of video games, right? So like the NFL, they
what?
like if you're white and a cornerback, they're like, can you play in the NFL? If you're like white and a running back, it's like,
I mean,
you know,
you
like
can.
if you're a white guy,
most likely won't.
If you're a white guy in the skills position department in the NFL, you do get overlooked. There's like, and in college football, it's the same way. Like the best running back I think was at Missouri. The Baron can correct me. They're a huge college football fan, but there was like this, like the best running back in the nation didn't even get recruited by the college, was a walk-on because they were white. So basically, ESO is the NFL of the gaming community. Is what I'm saying.
Totally.
You know.
Totally. So is there a certain race that's more privileged than others?
Probably. Ask Zaz, the woke people who designed the game.
Well, you play the game.
I do play the game. I think that there are I think that
that's why we're here, for your opinion.
Like when you look at all the DPS classes, like any DPS class, doesn't matter what the class is. There's I think like 7 classes now in the game. The best race to be with either with any of those classes at DPS is Khajiit or Dark Elf. And so when you're on like an elite guild and you're going into the trial, you're like, everyone is a Khajiit, is a cat or a Dark Elf, and you're like, okay, that's odd. And then if you're, you know, like your tanks are gonna, so like it's very segregated. It's just very funny. Like at the highest level where all the elite players are playing, everyone's the same. It's like everyone's got this, you know, the same race. It's just it lacks diversity, and I find it funny that the group that is so promoting DEI in their own company and trying to push that in gaming can't seem to figure it out in their own damn game that they make.
Well, maybe the mentality is that oh, this game isn't.
Cody Schrader was the football player, by the way.
There we go. There we go.
Best running back last year.
Baron always coming through. But maybe the gamers, like they've separated the game in their head, being like, oh, this isn't a representation of actual life, but we're gonna make this race better than other races. And you're like, well,
look, don't get me wrong. I don't care, man. I'm gonna play my Nord Warden all the live long day and just try to be the best that I can be. With my character with his giant beard and
what's
and
a Nord?
tattoos.
A Nord?
A Nord. It's a Nord.
Oh, so like a warden of the Nord.
You play the damn game, okay? So you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God, that's not gonna happen.
But I just think it's funny that a bunch of wokesters are just very like, oh, we need DEI in real life.
DEI,
which stands for didn't earn it, right? DEI stands for didn't earn it. But we definitely aren't going to put any of it in our video game, and it's going to be the most racist of all the MMORPGs. That's my argument, Zavoid. That is my argument.
So
if you disagree, it's okay. You can be wrong. It's
a
free country here. I'm not sure in Canada, though. I don't know what's going on right now.
You really heard it here first, folks. Elder Scrolls Online is fundamentally, from a certain point of view, totally racist.
Totally racist.
Allegedly. Reportedly.
Sort of.
Supposedly.
Not really, actually. But
maybe not. I don't know.
Really, I don't know.
What else is going on? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's a heck of a thing. It's a big accusation, and I'm actually.
What is the chat? The chat went. Apparently, the chat does not play MMORPGs. They don't care about MMORPGs.
They were like, nerd alert, no thanks.
Nerd alert. Hey, look, it's we talk about pop culture here, and gaming is everything to us. But it's just funny. I think it's funny. And it does appear. I like racial traits, though. I think it makes for an interesting game.
Not that they're bad. It's just, balance them, make them even. Isn't that the whole point? That's why we make the.
Oh,
I sent you a
Uncapped
top.
Turtle sending me messages. Secret messages.
So I wouldn't just randomly open it. Uh-oh.
Oh,
The
what?
Grand Wizards of the Coast.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny.
Jeez Louise. I love how fast he came up with that. Wow.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Uncapped is
wow.
I mean, let's nod of the cap to uncapped every time.
That was hilarious. But also kind of true.
Hey. I mean, let's not say it out loud.
Kind of true.
That was wild. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen a lot of people produce images like really quick. Mostly it's AI, but wow, Uncapped. You're just on top of this.
He Uncapped said he made that back when WOC outlawed mixed race characters. So like that's something interesting. So Wizards of the Coast, which owns D&D now, they banned mixed race characters. So you no longer can have a half elf or like any yeah. So like no more like because D&D used to have like some, not all. I mean, the only one that I can think of off the top of my head is a half elf, because elves and in humans in the D&D world, the Lord of the Rings world, you know, there was some cross-pollination there, you know, some way, hey. Humans were like, I like your pointy ears, and then the pointy ear people were like, I like your hairy chest, and things happened, and babies were made, and then they were, you know, and so Wizards of the Coast decided to basically be like, yeah, so no more interracial marriage. So they became the Democrats of the 1950s and 60s, where it's just like no more mixed, because I mean, in all the states, then the Democrat Party never likes to let you know this, but all the states where interracial marriage was outlawed was also all the states that were controlled by the Democrats.
Wow.
And that is like, we're talking as late as like the 1960s, because the parties did never switch. But the D is for demonic, the R is for retard. But it's just kind of funny. So I've always thought that we should maybe do a D&D, and maybe this would be a fun game like for Friday night stream, where we actually do like with some people in the chat, do a D&D playthrough of nothing but mixed races, and we make our own mixed races, like half maybe like I don't think there's half dwarf, so there's like half orc and half elf. Maybe we'll do like half gnome and half like halfling gnome, like a halfling gnome, and then maybe a halfling dwarf, or a half man, half dwarf,
half lorf,
half orc, half elf.
Oh, half orf.
How about dragonborn and gnome? A gnomerborn.
How about a
dragon gnome? A dragon gnome.
A celestial fairy baby. How about? That's not a thing. I'm just making up words at this point.
Ken Bob says,
"Oh my
gosh,
the democants,
the demons."
Oh, prevent marriage licenses were invented to prevent mixed marriages, and now we fight over if the state will allow certain people to marry.
It's true. I will say though, if you have not been married in a church, you're not really married. But anyway,
are you?
Gnomeborn sounds like a heck of an insult. You're a gnomeborn.
This regular gnomeborn of a...
Man, I don't know, dude. I just think it's kind of funny that these super woke people end up being the most racist people out of all, because they're obsessed. And they're like, no more of this, but more of this. No more of that, but more. And it's always more of the bad. You're like, no, but that's the part we were trying to get rid of. I don't know. Ooh,
what
do
you have? Is there a local watering hole? Do you got like a local spot? Do you go out anymore?
So.
I guess
no,
is the question.
I don't leave the compound
because you seem pretty angry. Do you go out anymore?
Dude, come on! I lived in LA. I was way more salty in LA than I am now.
I'm not gonna lie. I stay at home all the time anyway, even if I'm in LA, because I'm like, unless I'm going out, unless I'm going to Katsuya to get sushi. I'm pretty much here, or Home Depot to get more boxes.
I make my own sushi now. I make my own sushi. I make my own everything, dude. I don't leave this place.
All right.
I don't care. Cool. I don't want to. I don't like people. No.
I don't like people.
I don't need to leave. I got everything here. I got the fastest internet in the country. I got 2 TVs mounted on the living room wall, so I play video games and we watch a show. Right now, we're streaming Brokenwood. If you haven't checked out Brokenwood, you really should. It's a New Zealand murder mystery. Super funny, super good to watch. Check
New
it
Zealand
out.
murder mystery. All right.
Yeah, they talk like a bunch of Kiwis and solve murders. It's quite
They
entertaining.
drink a bunch of Sauvignon Blanc and solve murders. All right.
Actually, the police officer, the detective, has a winery.
Of
that
course he
lives on.
fucking
So-
does. Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna hire a wino to decorate our home. You know that old country song? Anyway, I've been listening to a lot of old country lately.
No, I don't know.
I've been listening to a lot of old country lately. I'm moving to the Midwest, so I've been listening to a lot of old country. A lot of songs about the Mississippi River.
Where are you moving again? Iowa?
Iowa.
Along the Mississippi?
Right on the Mississippi.
That's going to be nice, dude.
It's going to be interesting. I'm pretty excited because, we're going to go start anew, man. And I mean, we're going to continue this show. This show is going to be great. We're probably going to have to take a break for like 2 weeks.
We are going to have to take
And
a break.
everybody's going to have to be okay with that. I mean, unless they want Salty to just come on here and like rant for an hour.
I might do some live streams once I'm done with issue 2 of
I won't
Do
take it
Good,
personally or anything.
I'm gonna start doing a live. No, I'm gonna do a live stream of like other things. So I'm gonna go through a journey. I'm gonna take if you guys will join me, I'm gonna take the everyone on a journey of drawing characters from The Hobbit.
I think you should. I think that'd be fucking dope.
So we're gonna
actually.
lives the way that I see them when I read the book, instead of what maybe they could look like based off of the descriptions of Tolkien rather than Wetaworks and Peter Jackson's and Guillermo del Toro's imagination. It's gonna be my imagination.
Easy for you to say. What up?
Hey, Katie did. Katie did. If you haven't checked out Katie Did's channel, please check out Katie Did's channel. She's one of my favorite people on the internet, talks comics a lot, gives a lot of support to people like me who make independent comic books. She's a great gal, and we're really stoked to see her here.
Great channel.
Thanks for stopping by, Katie.
Thanks for stopping by.
And honestly, check out her. If you're into indie comics, you can always find out the latest with her. She clips a lot of the ridiculousness and also the awesomeness that is happening in indie comics. And
she does
edits it down so that you don't have to watch a 5 freaking hour stream. Good Lord.
Good Lord. Uncapped wants to replace me if I'm gone, but
I
can't have
that would actually be fun.
I can't have that because I can't be like replaced. I can't have it all of a sudden turn into salty and
Just call
uncapped.
it salty and uncapped.
Salty and turtle.
Salty and turtle.
just
Salty
doesn't-
turtle.
It doesn't flow the same, so it will never work. I'm not worried. Never mind.
Aw, Katie says, I miss you, Salty. I'm sorry I haven't talked to you in a while. Thank you for the... Katie, I've been busy. You're busy. You got kids, so you're double busy.
We checked out your live stream the other day, so
Yeah, we
don't
did.
you're doing great. We totally appreciate it. Thanks for
Super
coming in.
love Katie did.
Thanks
We
for
love
coming in.
love her so much, man. She's good old Southern gal. I'm trying to learn how to be Southern myself, living in the South now.
Yeah.
Somewhere hidden in the Cumberland forest.
Somewhere hidden. Yeah. I'm about to go. I'm about to go hide away right along the Mississippi. It's gonna be great. I mean, I'm pretty excited. We're excited. This is like a new opportunity, a new chance to. You can't be a Texas millionaire anymore. The idea of what it used to be a Texas millionaire and how far your money went doesn't exist anymore because all the fucking idiots from California moved to Texas.
Well, you know why that is? Do you know like the root cause of why that is?
Why don't you tell me?
Democrats.
Democrated. But besides
Democrated.
that, there aren't a lot of places that you can be a Texas millionaire anymore.
Yeah.
But I found one, and it's a corner of Iowa where I can still get cheap gas. I can get cheap beer. I can also buy ammunition and possibly a firearm at the same place I'm sitting down to get a beer. I can go. There's a local movie theater that has current movies that I already know the people who work there. And with every movie ticket, that's only like $8. You get a popcorn and a soda because that's how America should work. America. Well, it's not how America should work, but you know what I'm saying.
Totally.
It's going to feel really good to go to a small town and I don't know, just do something. And one of the things I'm going to do is this podcast or YouTube cast or live cast. What the hell even is this? What are we even doing here?
I don't know. We're
What do
doing
you
something.
call this?
But we're going to do it
Gab-
more times a week. We're going to be
Couple of-
doing a lot more. You know?
couple of Gabagales, just chatty Cathy.
It's going to be fun, dude. It's going to be fun. And we all really do
I'm
appreciate
excited.
everyone that's coming. Please tell your friends. Please like, subscribe, and share. Because we're trying to grow this channel, because we do sometimes talk about things that I personally think need to be talked about in the culture. I also want to talk about things. Savage and I both like to talk about things that we care about. And the number one thing that I'm really passionate about now is like trying to bring some positivity to the culture instead of grifting. Because right now YouTube is full of grifters, like men with soft, supple hands who dye their beard and have never worked a hard day's work in their life, telling us what we should like and not like, and kind of just grifting and gaslighting us. And so that's what we're kind of the counter to now, and that's what we want to be. And we're gonna get better. We're gonna do better, you know. So
We're gonna get better.
And by people who I'm talking about, mainly like soft bitches like Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh, and you know, Eric July.
Man, I swear it was so funny because we've talked about Eric, funnily, like jokingly putting Eric July on our villains list, and then the chat brought it up.
Yeah, the chat brought it
It's
up
so
because
good.
I mean, let's be honest, dude. Like, there was so much hope. There was so much hope. Like the promise
What
that
a
he made,
dick.
and then it's just a guy downtown.
I'm just a man, boy.
selling
I'm a boy man.
counterfeit Rolexes out of the back of his Hyundai.
Oh, I'm a boy man, but my Brazilian sweatshop is making these incredible images from 3D free images online. Boys, forget about it. I mean, come on. Look at my comic. I mean, I made it. This isn't a walk-in impression. I swear. This is original. This is how I work. I don't steal anything. I swear. Forget about it. Like and subscribe
Please like and
if you love this garbage, it's coming out of my mouth. I really do. And it's crazy because I do miss when we used to just sit. We met sitting at a bar on bar stools, and it wasn't a song or a a particular gripe that we bonded over. It was just we just started chatting, and even though you said some of the most crass, ridiculous things I've ever heard in my life, I always laugh.
No,
I always laugh and was like, "This guy's hilarious." We need
I'm
to
not
do this.
crass or ridiculous. What are
We
you
need to
talking
do this
about?
more often. What are you talking about?
I gotta be me, man, and I never could be me in Hollywood. I could only be me 3 whiskeys in.
What was
at that undisclosed location in the San Fernando Valley?
It was kind of interesting because I feel like it was probably like 2 or 3 years that like you and I we didn't really know what each other did or anything. We were just talking.
Yep.
We were just like, I had no idea. Like I eventually like knew what you did, but I didn't even know the extent of what you did until a certain point. And then I was like, wow, color me impressed. I had no idea that like you did like, wow, your level
that I
of
worked in entertainment advertising.
No, but you're
at
a
very high level. At a very high level, both of us.
It's just sometimes you just don't know when like the guy you're chatting with who just seems like a
you didn't know that the guy that's super conservative that owned a ton of pew sticks, who was somewhat a tad traditional, aka a little sexist, worked in entertainment advertising at a really, really high level, working on some of the most the biggest names in biggest movies in Hollywood.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, maybe the guy who did my logo for my Beard Balm, maybe you've heard of him because he he worked on, I don't know, a couple of films like Jurassic World and Deadpool.
Stop it.
And
I hated every second of it because
one of these days
they were so fascist in Hollywood. They were so fascist in Hollywood.
One of these days, I don't know if you want to, but I feel like you should tell the Avatar story and the story behind Papyrus, because they've done Papyrus too. Have you seen the second sketch? SNL did.
They did a second sketch of Papyrus too.
Ryan Gosling did another SNL, and they released a digital short, a second Papyrus, and you have to watch it to appreciate it, because where they end up at the end is pretty hilarious, and they bring it back around, and but I feel like the real papyrus story, why the fuck would you ever use a font that's like in Microsoft Word?
Why does anything get made in Hollywood? You could
franchise?
sum it up this way. How does anything get made in Hollywood? Nepotism. And Ken Bob says lies. And he's better be sarcastic, because I will fly out to LA and have words, brother. Because me and Ken actually met at one of the ad agencies in Hollywood that I worked at and he worked at. And we were both very, very conservative libertarian types that like to go to the shooting range on the weekend, and it made the leftists uncomfortable.
Hey, like and subscribe if you make leftists uncomfortable. Hey, liberals, am I right?
Hey,
I mean,
liberals are always welcome. I like liberals. I like a good debate. Leftists
am I right? Oh my God, it's so funny. This is just the best. Like, I love when you do that every time. I feel like a regard every time you do it, because I laugh like a schoolgirl. I'm like, it's so funny.
Well, because it's the best way to.
My lady does it as well, and like, because I'm like, fuck the, and she's like, and I'm like, okay, that was actually.
This one's still the best, though. I don't care what anyone says.
It works every time. It works every time.
Dude, you know what?
What's up? Oh, I haven't been tuning into the chat. Uncapped has gone crazy. He's over here. Hit share. Wait, what?
What?
I don't know.
What?
Never mind.
You know what time it is?
Do you know what time it is? Oh, what time is it?
Got a misunderstanding here.
What?
We're Fallout fans, okay?
Okay. Well, what kind of Fallout fan are you? You don't know?
It's almost like, what kind of Elder Scrolls fan are you? Oh,
although here, I think this is a good time. This is a good time. We got like 41 people watching. Thank you for being here. Thanks for participating in the chat.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
If you guys are interested in anything that we create, Savage, my homie, makes really nice beard balm.
Oh, I do.
And you should check that out. There'll be a link in the chat. If you have a beard or you have really nasty elbows,
Larson Brothers,
get that crap. But also, buy my book.
Oh, buy his book, dude.
Buy my book.
Buy his book. Oh, there it is. Silence Dugan. I'm not gonna lie. That is that trailer is dope. There was another trailer recently. Oh, wait, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Oh, the other. Oh,
what?
Sorry, my bad. Wait a minute. Wait, you should go. Wait, you should go over here. Oh, hold on.
You know, just needed to do a little.
I was just bragging on your trailer. I'm like, that trailer is so good. Maybe you've seen another trailer by an unnamed female Y character, which is like it seems to be a weird, strange like series of improv videos that they put together with voiceover that's completely disjointed. That was a trailer for a comic book. This book, like,
you're talking about Yaira. What are you
of course I'm talking
about, bro?
Yaira garbage.
Oh,
like,
Lord.
what in the world?
Uncapped's all, now I'm discombobulated. I'm discombobulated too, because I was like, what are you even talking about? Just use your words. Use your words. He's talking about the Gyre trailer, and good Lord, that thing is terrible.
I almost like don't even, I feel like I'm not even pronouncing it right because
Lord, it's bad. Yeah, my trailer's great because I had a really amazing editor friend of mine living in California that I used to work with at one of the companies that I work with, and I just decided to hire him because it's always good to hire people who are better at things than you are, and then you pay them money to make you
the
things.
truth. Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, that's what I did there.
It was, and to let everybody know, like I was initially, we'd been discussing this. I obviously have like the 0 issue of the
Issue
book.
0, yeah.
We've been talking about this for quite some time, but the initially we were like even trying. I was like, oh my god, if there's some way that I could do voiceover, because I do voiceovers, and I was like, can I try to do some VO on this thing? And we put my voice on the trailer, and it just didn't sound good. Like this music,
not for this trailer.
And the music
trailer, like
this
the
trailer,
music, the editor found the music
for the context,
and it was like, I can't do voiceover because the music is so good.
It came off so much better, and the music moved it forward. And it's like it didn't even it just needed the words on the screen. It didn't need someone saying them. It was so much better, and that's part of like the process in Hollywood. It's like, do I even need, like, because you want to hire like a good voice and like, oh, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna promote. It's like it just needed a good edit and good music, and it's a next level trailer.
I think the next trailer I want to have voiceover, because I think that voiceover can be effective. But like once we found that track, I was like, yeah, dude,
it's so good. I mean, we need to do an animated version of like
that track
episode
is so
0.
good.
Like if we do an animated episode 0, just to kind of like get people into it. I would love to be one of the voices there, and I'm sure Uncapped, he's dying to,
I also may be able to get the voice of Barrett from Final Fantasy VII redo, who's a friend of mine and has a great voice, and I want him for one of the characters. I think you would be great as Nash, actually.
Oh, Nash. I mean, I'm down for anything.
Now I have beer. Look at that.
Look at this guy.
With my
look at this guy with
mug.
beer.
Look at that. Look at that frosted mug. Nice. Kirin Ichiban, right?
Ooh, get an Ichiban.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh. That's what I forgot. Oh my god. Next week. Are we doing one more next week before I move? Okay.
I think so. I think
we're doing one last show next week before I move. Next week. Try and remind me. I want to drink on the show. I want to drink the Habushu snake venom sake.
Tell me you haven't read my comic book without saying you haven't read my comic book.
Nash, Diesel. He's talking about the rest.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the Wolf Pack. Okay. Although my favorite is
Hey Chico.
Not Kevin Nash though.
R.I.P.
I have a character named Nash.
R.I.P. In a world.
Every other trailer starts off. So in Hollywood, your action movie trailer has to start with "in a world," and then your movie poster has to have a character holding weapon, debris in the background, sparks in the front.
Are you ready? In a land, it's nope. There's no land.
Dude.
In it. On the edge of space. There's no space.
Dude, I love how we have more people watching the show now than in the beginning when we were actually doing all of our content.
People are like, this, you know what, this thumbnail?
You guys missed the top 10 list. You missed the rant about video games.
You missed oh my God, you guys missed so much. Uncapped was here. Well, Uncapped was a little late this time, but Henry was here. The Baron has been here from day one.
Yep.
Make sure to, by the way, make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, please like and subscribe. Uncapped Turtle has a really great question. Why do names never line up on movie posters? That is because it goes by top billing. So it never lines up because there's a lot of ego going on with naming, with whose name appears what. That's why I like shows in the BBC, on the BBC and stuff, do alphabetical order, because it's like, screw your ego, alphabetical order.
Unless
just like roll call in school, okay?
It's China.
Unless
where they change it and they're like, no, these are the races that we like.
Yep.
These are the people who sell.
So if you're a black guy playing a stormtrooper, you get, and you're like really in the movie, you get itty bitty down.
Dude, they're like Black Panther,
and
they
all
put,
the woke
like,
DEI people in Hollywood are like, we do whatever you want, China. We do whatever you want, China.
the like when the white character on the Black Panther is the biggest poster, or the biggest character on the Black Panther poster is the white character in China. You're like, wait, what?
So he says, you think 1 or 2 movies would put people in the correct order? So there's a couple. So I used to make movie posters on Cap.
They're very
and
good. I feel
you
like
always
we
go
should
with the
show.
art, right? You always go with the art. You're like, oh, it's got to be like, okay, first off, you got to have the main character be like the primary guy. And usually, like, what we would try to do is tell a story, and then the executives would always be like, just show an over airbrushed actor. If it was an action movie, it was over airbrush actor, debris in the background, gun in the hand, sparks in the front. If it was a romantic comedy, it would be gradient background with the head. Nice rendered photo where it's over airbrushed. Like there was like templates of the executives that did, but it always the names never lined up because the order. It was like, I'm the most important actor in this film, so the name had to go first.
That's usually their agent's fault, but
yeah,
at the same
it's
time,
such a crap show because you get that information like at the end when like all the negotiating is finally like, okay, fine, we're done. The poster's been designed, and then it's like, oh, here's how we're gonna list it. Here's the priority of names. It's ridiculous, dude.
And
Hollywood
the way that
is ridiculous.
There's so many things and nuances to the way that they do things in Hollywood that most people don't think about. But as soon as you get in the industry, you're like, oh, I guess that totally makes sense. Okay, yeah. So they're a diva. They're a diva. They're a diva. Their agent's a diva. Their agent wants them to be a diva.
Yep.
Old movie posters were so
hand
good.
illustrated, traditionally illustrated,
God,
the most beautiful
so
art,
good.
some of the most beautiful
Like H.R. Geiger's stuff.
Yeah, the most
like,
beautiful modern art. Not the modern art you see at the museum where it's just like someone shat on a freaking canvas, but like modern art meaning like, more modern. Movie posters I think is up there for me of modern art that I love, like pop culture art.
Yeah, I love that, like vintage
50s
brutalism.
and 60s, man, such great stuff, dude. Like such great stuff. And then now it's all going to be AI, dude, because the executives, they want the movie posters yesterday. They don't want to pay the artist for the movie poster. And now that they have AI, they're like, how can we make it with AI? Because we're the worst humans on the face of the earth. And we gave you Seth Rogen because there's no way that guy would have a career if his auntie didn't work at Fox as a VP.
But tell me, how easy would it be for one guy who's talented at Photoshop with the entire Adobe suite with everything to take whatever the highest powered AI that the studio is providing him with, and just he's the guy that makes every single piece of digital art and or text that they need? How easy would that be? Just that easy? Could one guy do everything for Paramount or
I don't
everything?
think so. I still don't think so. Not even with AI. I don't think it's possible. I think that the thing about artistry is like,
because so many artists are being let go, and so many of these
Yeah.
creatives and people, and they're bringing in younger folks who are like, oh, I can do all 6 of these programs. And they're like, great, we're going to pay you half of what we paid one guy who used to use one program.
and everything looks terrible.
And it's not necessarily.
I mean, you look at those thumbnails on Netflix and stuff, and you look at like everything.
The
is
screen,
just
the screen
quality
grabs
is
that
just-
are like, what is the context of this fucking screen grab?
And Netflix is completely controlled by the algorithms. Everything you see on Netflix is determined by artificial intelligence trying to figure out the algorithm of like what other people. So that's the great thing about like the ironic thing about Hollywood now is like they're the most woke people, they're the most DEI people, they're the most like diversity, individuality, and then yet everything they do is through algorithms now. It's through categorizing people. Like I remember being in college and thinking, yeah, it's like, it's like, what is it? Not psychology. What What's
Sociology?
the other? Sociology is like
Study
the most
people.
racist thing you could ever study in college, right? Like everyone that studies sociology ends up being a racist if they weren't already a racist, which is basically like these are how groups of people behave. You know, instead of treating people like individuals, you treat people like dogs, like breeds of dogs. Like Australian cattle dogs behave this way, Dobermans behave this way. So do Germans and black people and Hispanics. But like Hispanics is like Spanish people behave this way, and then Portuguese people behave this way, and they all behave that way because they were born that way because they're that race. And so, and that's how Hollywood functions, creating everything that they create now, from movie posters to the thumbnails that you see on Netflix. It's all, what's the algorithm say? What's the block of race that will watch this? And it's like, and you wonder why everything they make sucks now. It's because it's not coming from the heart. It's not creative. It's some asshole executive that went to college and studied sociology or some other shit and is like, I'm going to base things off of a spreadsheet. I'm going to base it off of a spread. Well, research tells us.
In all honesty, sociology was a minor of mine.
Yeah,
so
and you learned how to be a racist.
But no. The thing that I loved about sociology is I could take all of these weird psychology classes, and they counted for sociology. So I took like abnormal behavior and abnormal psychology and social deviance and all sorts of things that gave me this crazy look that actually taps directly into the stuff that we watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest earlier. Taps directly into the whole psyche behind mental institutions themselves and how they used to work and how they work now, and how it's all just it's all a mind fuck regardless of whether or not your mind is fucked or not.
It's totally crazy, dude. It's totally crazy. They're kind of evil.
You're kind of evil.
No, they are.
Wait, who is?
Hollywood
Wait, what?
Is. The Democrats.
And I having done the sociology thing, I've been inundated into the very Democrat-leaning, very left-leaning entertainment news world, where our executive producers are 100% Republican and right-leaning, and like we all understand, but they push onto this show because they know that that's what the people that are viewing want. They're like, oh no, do this instead of this.
Do you think it's what the people viewing want, or do you think that it's what their bosses and Hollywood would push for? Because we all know how fascist Hollywood is.
It's not necessarily what the people want. It's what the overarching like feel is. Like, is it okay to say, okay, we're saying this now. We're saying this person is bad. We're saying Harvey Weinstein is bad. Because we used to gobble his cock.
Yeah.
We're saying Harvey Weinstein is bad now. We're on this. And we're saying this is bad. And we're saying, now we're supporting Lizzo. And now we're doing this things, when at that exact same moment, the executive producer is sitting in the other room going, God, Lizzo's a fucking idiot. Fuck Lizzo. What a fucking
So
bitch.
a bunch of cowards.
A bunch of cowards.
You're telling me to put this at the top of the show, and they're like, yeah, this person's a fucking piece of shit.
Are you calling conservatives in Hollywood cowards?
Yeah,
you're calling conservatives because they are.
Because they know where their paycheck comes from, and they know if they want to continue to
because they're afraid of the
millions
fascists.
of
they're
dollars
from
whatever higher ups they are.
Because the studios are super fascist, left wing, like straight up, like clicking. Like
it's pretty ridiculous what the studios are like. You think everything's on the up and feel like everything's like liberal and everyone's like pretty like, oh, everyone's open to this and everyone's open to that. But as soon as you get on a set, they're like, if you don't look the right way, or you don't act the right way, or you don't know these two words or the nomenclature, they're like, you're garbage. You don't belong here. And that's kind of the opposite of the whole acceptance thing, isn't it?
You think they should maybe start wearing armbands? You know, with like a insignia on the side, maybe in a white circle.
They replaced that with a walkie, so now you can go, copy.
No. Did they?
Go for Savage.
Did they replace that with the AIDS ribbon? Is that what the AIDS ribbon represents now? The red AIDS ribbon is just it's the replacement of that.
It's not. I don't think that's what it is. But
why aren't you wearing the ribbon? To quote another Seinfeld episode.
Why aren't you wearing the ribbon?
Wear the ribbon.
Be careful. We just might get into a salty rant.
Oh, They're always
right around the corner.
Oh my gosh, they're always so.
They're always right around the corner.
So the entire as I like to call it, Tinseltown's tainted underbelly is just, it's a bunch of seedy atrociousness. And as much as I, survived for 16, 17 years doing this stuff and have like little statuettes on the shelf
working
because
at
of it
extra,
and that, like, it all means nothing. And in the end, I'm gonna go take the axes that are on the shelf and probably end up making like a better life of myself and feeling better about myself with the axes than this ever did. Now, granted, my mother loves this. I love this. It's great. My uncle loved it. It was great. It got him, far on the dating sites and everything like that. But this is like, I mean, what are we even doing here? We're like the tiles on Netflix, literally the tiles on Netflix, when you scroll past them and then you go back, they're different.
Yep.
They're like, oh wait,
they're
he
testing.
You
passed it. Why didn't you click on it? Will you click on this thumbnail?
He didn't like this one. Maybe we should
you're
go back.
always being manipulated.
You know what we should do? We should change it to be a different freeze frame that's super awkward, and maybe that's the one he'll click on.
Yeah.
No, motherfucker, I don't want to watch The Curious Case of Benjamin Button again. Like Jesus fucking Christ.
Why aren't we colonizing space again? Why aren't we colonizing California? Okay.
Well, we need to split California.
There are two types of positions
into
in
the
life.
North and South Republic.
There's only two stages of existence in life. You either are colonizing or you're being colonized. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big space head. I'm a space head. I'm a space cadet. I'm a whatever you call it. Like, I believe in science, but like at the same time, like,
how do you believe in science? Science isn't like a religion. It's just a form of like research and study.
No, I don't.
And exploration.
I guess that statement is probably taken as a wholeheartedly, like, I believe women. Like, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
My wife would say, I don't believe women.
That's not what I'm saying.
I don't, because they're probably lying.
What I'm saying is like, I believe in people that put in the work and show the work, and that work should be like then acknowledged and like, oh, okay. And if there's questions about it and whatnot, then the scientific method continues. And I believe in the scientific method, I guess. I don't wholeheartedly just believe in anything science says, because we all know, I mean, shit, the opioid crisis was fucking because a bunch of scientists were like, no, I mean, this should be okay. And then the salesmen were like, they said it should be okay. Let's do this. Yeah. No. But at the same time, like, there's I'm not.
You're a fan of the scientific.
I'm not out here believing the palm readers. Let's just say that. like just because I'm a tourist.
You don't like us. You don't listen to astrology and live your life by it.
I mean, only my sexual astrology.
Never, ever, 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 ever commit to a woman that follows astrology seriously.
Ooh,
don't do it.
That's actually a good shout. That's actually a good shout, because when you talk to somebody who bases random life happenings and events and the way they feel and the way you feel and the way everything is going on, like the nature of where Saturn is in its spin around the sun, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? But Saturn and the sun. What?
Well, so
I'm still trying to get. The tides
are
moving from the moon. The moon is doing more for me on a daily basis.
A woman that lives her life by astrology is just not wanting to take accountability for her craziness.
Only
that is the reality. That is what you're dealing with. That's what you're dealing with. Okay, that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a woman that does not want to be held accountable for her craziness.
And I mean, I think it's fun, just like I think reading, like playing Dungeons and Dragons or whatever is fun. It's fun to read your astrology and be like, isn't that cute?
When the moon is in the
seventh house and Jupiter aligns.
It's the greatest ending of a comedy film ever.
Is it Asia? Is that who does it? The
No,
Age of
that's,
Aquarius.
no. Papa Salty will have the band coming up fourth.
Is it Europe?
Because no, it's like a 70s band.
I thought no, it is. I thought it was Asia or Europe or something. That's like the name of the band. Age of Aquarius, right?
Oh man, Papa Salty just said that there was rain. What did he say? Thunder shower with hail on the way, and
Age
I
of
can
Aquarius.
already hear it on my roof. I can already hear it on my roof here in the lovely South that I live in.
The Fifth Dimension.
The Fifth Dimension.
Oh yeah, it's the Fifth Dimension. I don't know why I thought it was. Anyway, Fifth Dimension. Simply Green's on top of it. He's like, I got it.
Well, he was
Thank
quoting
you.
it.
I'm not gonna lie. Thanks again, chat. You guys.
Seth
are still...
Rogen was in that movie too, and the only reason why that guy has a job in Hollywood is because his aunt worked at one of the bigger studios as a VP in the film department or something like that. I'm telling you, Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, those two
I got a good
chubby assholes would never have a career because they're not funny, but they're.
I got a good
aunts worked in Hollywood.
A good Anchorman story. So living in Long Beach when I was in college, we got connected. A lot of times there were these promotional people that would come on campus and they would want you to go to these movie screeners, like come see this shitty movie before it comes out. And so me and this buddy, we kind of made it our side thing that like, we're always just going to go to these terrible movies. We saw like a screener of like The Bride of Chucky, like a bunch of really random, terrible films. One time they were like, oh, hey, you're going to come to, you want to come to this comedy film? It's done by the same people that did whatever. And we were like,
whatever.
We were like, oh, whatever. That sounds, wasn't Will Ferrell involved in that? I don't remember what it was that was on the promotional thing. We were like, we should probably go to this. Maybe like, so we ended up at a screener of Anchorman about 6 months before it came out. So me and my buddy, we get in there, and as we walk in, the theater is packed. They have executives and they have people that they're just like cramming into every place because it was I think some other people knew that it was like a big Will Ferrell thing or whatever. And we were just like, what is this? I don't know. Let's see what happens. It's a comedy. We ended up having to be sat in the handicap seats, which are like kind of close, but also very comfortable.
But also because you are handicapped.
Because
also because you are handicapped.
Because I'm a retard.
Yeah, because you're a retard.
And so they were like, oh, you guys can sit in these seats and whatever. And we're going, oh my gosh, this is so great. We got like these really good seats and we're stoked. This is going to be like a Will Ferrell movie. This is going to be pretty funny. And then I hear out of the corner of my ear, I see out of the corner of my eye, and I look over and I see this kid and he's talking to his buddy, and they're like 6 or 7 seats away from us. And he's going, dude, I went to the stand, the concession stand, and they just gave me free food. I have no idea what. And I looked at my friend Elijah. We're gonna have him on the show at some point because he's worked for Disney. He's worked for the Mouse. He's currently works for Walmart. He's a surfer, WWF aficionado. Like the guy's hilarious. He's been on
it's WWE because WWF is the wild.
It's WWF. Go fuck yourself. WW fuck yourself.
The World Wildlife something
Federation. But so we hold on, like where was we at in the story? Okay, so I look at him and I go, I think I just heard that guy say something about free food. Stay here, I'll be right back. Instincts paid the fuck off. I walked outside and there was this weird a cordoned off area that was just for one part of the concession stand. And I walked up and there was nobody there, but there was a kid that walked up and he's like, hey, what can I get you? And I said, is there a charge for what I get here right now? And the kid mistakenly thought he had been told that anybody who comes up to this counter gets free food. So I was like, I'll have 2 popcorns, 2 things of Starburst, 2 giant things. We'll have 2 of these. I was at the brim. Like I couldn't possibly have held more stuff. And as I'm walking back through the doors of the theater, the guy who's looking at me, who like sees my little ticket that says I can come in, he's looking at all the stuff I have. And then he looks back over at the concession stand and he's like, wait a minute, what the heck? And I'm like, all right, I gotta go. So I bring all this stuff to my buddy and I hand him all of this. Like we were just brimming with incredible theater food. And then I hear the kid who just went and got the free food that initiated me even going there. He comes back because he had apparently gone back out after I came back in with a giant mound of food.
This is the longest fucking story I've ever heard Savage tell.
He tries to go for round 2 and he comes back in and he goes, "Oh, dude, they cut it off. They said they're not giving away any more free food."
Because you broke them.
Because
you
apparently
broke them.
Savage broke the retard behind the counter who was like, "Yeah, you can have whatever you want." So me and one of my
Selfish
best
asshole.
buddies sat there without even knowing what we were doing. Sat there eating up like 7 pounds of free food.
You
And then
scumbag.
Anchorman came on. And we lost our minds. We did Anchorman quotes for 6 months and nobody knew what we were talking about. We were like, milk was a bad choice. And people were like, what the fuck are you even, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? Milk was a bad choice. I don't even understand.
I love
like,
lamp. I love
we're
lamp.
like, okay,
I
Brick,
love
I love
lamp.
lamp. And they're like, what do you mean lamp? We don't get it. What do you mean?
Works 40% of the time, every time.
Every time.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Oh, that was a good.
It was it's a very long story. I apologize. Most of my
I got
stories
lost
are
in the
long.
middle of it. I felt like I
So
needed
did
to
I.
get my own concessions. I was like, is there I was waiting for what's the part where it breaks in the middle of the film? You know,
If
that
anybody
whole
needs to get concessions,
intermission. I was all, this story needs an intermission so I can get my own concessions.
Go to the lobby. Let's all go.
Dude, I haven't been to a movie theater since before COVID, bro. I still haven't been to a movie theater since before COVID because I don't want to leave my house. I got giant TVs on the living room wall. I have a really comfortable couch.
Are you afraid some dark elves are going to steal them? What are you talking about?
Or the Khajiit might.
The Khajiit. Yeah, the Khajiit. They sound like they're from the Middle East. I'm not going to lie. It sounds like
The
it was a
Khajiit actually are,
sounds
I think,
like
a little
heavy...
bit. Because they're kind of desert, and then the buildings are like got the little, you know, like the very like, you know, like it looks like the buildings that they live in are from the stands, you know, Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, the stands,
Krezblakistan.
I don't know, man. It's almost 8 o'clock. You know, say we got a lot of people watching on Twitter and on like 10 people watching on YouTube. If you guys see this show on Twitter, click the description at the top of the video and watch us on YouTube so that we can get monetized sooner than later.
You might dislike YouTube or whatever, but it does help us.
It does help us. We actually are thinking about doing the show on Kick. I don't know if you guys would join us on Kick. Maybe we do it on Kick. We don't know. We're kicking it around. We're trying to figure it out.
Like
YouTube kind of sucks because they're super fascist.
Well, yeah. Not to mention, I mean, it's all run by the same company that like we're even streaming this through, probably. So,
dude, right? Google.
What's the?
Oh,
I'm gonna have to double check with you because I'm gonna need some good internet when I get out to the Midwest, and you have that super fast internet.
I have the fastest internet in the country.
Yeah, it's not Google Giganet.
Nope.
By the way,
Google
it's not
sucks.
Google BT Dubs. Yeah, I need to double check with you on that.
But yeah, when you guys do watch the show, if you see it on Twitter, try clicking on that link to go to the YouTube.
Also, thanks for like taking the second to
hey,
go
watch
to
it
Salty's
wherever
Twitter.
you want because I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, as they say in the South. I'm learning new terms, although I've known that term for a long time because my grandfather ran a farm.
Everyone knows a gift
We
horse.
are thankful that you're here. We really do appreciate you being here. We love you. We love you.
do.
But also on YouTube, you could type in the chat and also say funny crap and join the show.
Oh my god,
join
you could
the
be
fun and be part of the show.
You could be so funny in the chat. You know what the best part is? When you're super funny in the chat. Uncapped knows.
Uncapped knows.
Henry knows.
At any time, if you have thoughts, you should mention them because they might lead to a rant. And is that really terrible?
Simply Green
Is
knows.
that terrible?
Everybody knows. We love
we love
chat.
the chat.
We're both doing the same thing.
We're both trying to do the same thing. One person should control it, and it should not be me.
It's fine.
Because I drink heavily.
Hey, we heart the chat.
I mean, I am part Irish, guys. What do you expect?
Are you?
My name is literally Sean, S-E-A-N.
Is it? Oh, it is. It is. That's right. I bet. Are you an Ancestry DNA guy? Have you like done your
No?
your
Do I want to
thing?
be in a freaking data bank? No, bro. Plus, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't want to be in a database. I don't trust AI. I don't like Google. I don't even like having a bank account, but I have to function in society. Okay?
I have to function in society. Okay, you hear me? God damn it, man.
I would prefer everything being analog, my name being on nothing, and just living on my land with my well.
Internal reference databases, but not completely. Although maybe, you know.
I just, at this point, I didn't ever think that I would actually think that Alex Jones might be a prophet. I'm just saying. We have someone watching the show. He was chatting earlier, a buddy of mine named Alan, who used to listen to Alex Jones all the time. And I'd be like, dude, you got to stop listening to this. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is insane. And in 2024, I'm like,
they're turning the frogs gay.
And then they went gay.
Oh my God, dude. The frogs in my neighborhood the rats are gay. It's so gay.
Well, you do live in LA. Everyone's a homosexualist.
The rats are like, well, it's like, I'm going to eat your garbage. It's terrible. I don't even.
The rats are homosexualists. The rats are homosexualists.
They're racialists. The rats are
They're racialists, homosexualists. They're all the ists.
These are all valid points. Absolutely.
But with as many people that are watching, do we keep going? You guys missed all the fun stuff early on.
Should we show them the?
Well, actually, my question to the chat, and then we'll show them, is how do you guys feel about the top 10 list? We're thinking about doing that as a weekly thing. That might be kind of fun. Get you guys
10.
involved.
I don't know. Here's the thing, chat. I'm kind of on the edge. I'm teetering. I'm like, I don't know if I want to like come up with a top 10 every week.
I do.
I appreciate. I like a top 10. I like a top 10, but I feel like if we do it every week, it might be a little much. I don't know. What's the chat saying?
I think I'm saying let's bring back the top 10 list like David Letterman.
Orcs are black and Skaven are Jews.
I don't know. I was just gonna ignore that comment. Disavow.
So funny.
Wow.
It's
wow.
So hilarious.
I am uncomfortable right now.
So hilarious. Are you? Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, man. Hold on. Uncapped sent an exclusive. Uh-oh. Look out.
Simply Green just
top 10. Okay, so
fired it out.
I like the top 10. You should do it and have votes for certain rankings. So we establish the list of here's the 10.
That would be fair.
And then do a poll, and then those get ranked.
Oh yeah.
If we limit people, because you don't want to give everyone a chance to chime in.
We could do that during the show.
We got to figure out the whole poll thing. Can we do polls?
We can do polls on YouTube.
Katie did polls the other day, so I don't know how to.
We might be able to do a top 5 poll on.
We could do a top 5 for sure.
We could do a top 5. Maybe we do that. Involve the chat even more. We've narrowed down our 5 worst presidents in U.S. history, and then let the chat decide.
Are any of them the first one, like George Washington?
George Washington can't be on the worst.
Top 10 things George Washington would say if he was alive today. Number 1.
He might be on top. Washington would definitely be on the top 5 best presidents of all time.
Dude, top 5 presidents with wooden teeth. Gingers with wooden teeth. Are we not gonna talk about the ginger with wooden teeth? They're like, hey, this guy's like over 6 feet tall, and it's like not 2000. People are not this tall. This guy's a freak. Oh my God.
Lincoln Wilson as I'm assuming terrible presidents. And see, the thing about Lincoln is that he gets on the list of best presidents and also on the list of worst presidents. He's the best worst president we've ever had.
He's like, it's like he meant well.
Wilson is the worst president we've ever had. The end.
Sorry. Woodrow
Wilson.
Would you
Absolute, hands down, worst president the United States has ever had.
Would you not?
Not even a competition of how bad he is. So bad.
Hey, Caro.
So bad he makes me want to do drugs.
Or Kara. Sorry,
Hey, Kara said Caro. What's up, Kara? We like Kara.
Yeah,
we should make Kara a mod because she's a mod to the stars.
Oh my God. Really?
And we're going to be stars one day.
It's about to get crazy if
this train is
more mods.
Taking off.
Lincoln was the first dictator of the U.S. Man, the chat's going on. All right, chat.
Wow.
damned if you not for the Whig Lincoln.
Whig,
that's a Whig party.
That is shots fired. Almost like shots fired by the Democrats on Sumter Hill. And I'll tell you what, brother, Lincoln would not have had to do what he had to do if it wasn't for the Democrats who started the Civil War. Okay.
Shots fired. Get on your eye protection, folks. Wow.
Should I put my I don't have safety glasses.
Shots fired. I was digging through my closet.
Do the rest of the show this way so you don't have to look at my eyes.
I was digging through my closet and I found like a lab coat that I used for, I don't know, like Halloween or something. And these were in it. And I was like, oh yeah, I knew what I was doing.
Those things happen.
I knew what I was doing at the time.
I'm going to saw some wood and then do a stream.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we do. We love Cara Fro. She's great. You should follow her on the X, the Twix, the whatever they call it now. I don't even know. The Twitters.
We're still calling it Twitter.
I call it Twitter, dude. Really, honestly, if you could not have done worse branding, Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a genius. Don't get me wrong. Much smarter, much more successful than I will ever be. But that is terrible branding, bro. Terrible branding.
It was one of those things where he was like backed into a corner and he was like, my mouth wrote a check that my ass couldn't cash, but I'm gonna fucking own it. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna take over Twitter. And they were like, yeah, you fucking go ahead, buddy. Have a nice time. And it's just been a mess. Now, granted, we're streaming on this platform right now, but
I can't ignore this one.
Business Daddy is not the smartest when it comes to Twitter.
Like I said, Uncapped, Lincoln is the worst and best president we've ever had. One of the worst and best presidents we've ever had.
And 10th.
Look, he did. He foolishly and sheepishly and stupidly ignored the 9th and 10th. However, the Democrats were ignoring 1 through 10 for several years, trying to own people. So, just gonna say that right there. X is a rebranding from 1998. No one knows that, and no one cares. It's freaking Twitter, bro. It's freaking Twitter.
The fact that he knows that, Uncapped, man. How old is Uncapped? Jeez, man. Sorry.
When I'm retired on Mars in the distant future, I'll still call it Twitter, as will I. When I'm living in my pod, plugged into the machine, owning nothing and being happy, that's never gonna happen. I'll still call it Twitter.
Have you guys been on Twitter/Mars yet? Oh man, it's so good. It's just for us folks here on Mars. I'm driving in a rover on Mars, apparently.
Yeah. Weird. Slavery ended everywhere else in the Western world without 500,000 dead. This is true. But you know where else the rest of the world didn't have? You know what else the rest of the world didn't have?
Korea.
I'm just saying, the rest of the world didn't have this one thing that America had. Democrats. Just saying.
Oh, it was the Western world. He was talking about. My bad.
Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah. Damn. Oh, by the way, did I mention?
The Western world did not have Democrats.
Democrats.
Just saying. Okay.
Did I mention?
Just saying that. Like, the Democrats.
He's just saying.
Are the worst people. And when I say Democrats, I'm talking about the actual politicians that are trying to get your vote, lying to you all the time, super racist.
Not like, oh, we want, people to be equal or whatever. Like, no. Lying.
No, not the people that vote for them. You're dumb.
Lying to your face.
Yeah.
Because
but the D stands for demon. The R stands for retarded. And that's the choices that you have. That's the choices that you have right now, which is unfortunate.
You know what? This is one of the choices that you have. And we appreciate you making it because I don't know what it is we're doing, but this is absurd. And I don't know. I'm having a good time. But the fact that other people are having a good time.
It's almost 9 o'clock. No, it's almost 8:10. I really do appreciate you guys.
Oh man, I'm
here.
after 6 o'clock.
I think that we should have Uncapped on for a Civil War debate. Prepared to be schooled, because the Cotton Gin would have done everything it could have to end slavery, except for one thing: Democrats, who started the war to own people.
I'm sorry, but gin is a terrible beverage in the first place, so I don't even know where he's coming from.
I'm going to tell you something right now. There would have been no Civil War if the Democrats hadn't shot and fired cannons on Fort Sumter. There would not have been a Civil War. Lincoln was going to avoid a Civil War, but what he wasn't going to not do was allow free labor to continue to outproduce the North, so they tariffed them. The Democrats, if you want someone to blame for all the bad shit that's happened in this country, you could blame one party and then weak-ass mofos in the Republican Party, but mainly the Democrats.
But it's also like the Democratic Party and the Republican Party and the Whig Party from back then are completely different than they were. They flip-flopped and done this and that, done all of these things. They're not the same parties.
Exactly.
But at the same time, what a bunch of retards.
I will stay
Regarded.
retarded longer than they can stay evil. You and me both, Simply Greed.
Easily.
You and me both.
Easily.
Okay? Because I am a little retarded.
Easily.
Okay,
I will make trades after the people in Congress do, and be an idiot.
Yeah. And it comes to saying, you mean the North invade? No, see, okay, here's the biggest misnomer and why we know that you're Woodrow Wilson educated. Because Woodrow Wilson changed the education on the Civil War. There is no North versus South. Southern states stayed in the Union. It is Republican versus Democrat. The Civil War was Democrats, 100% control of the states that seceded. Alexander Stephens gives us the greatest speech in history about what the Civil War was about, his cornerstone speech, which was about slavery and why the South was seceding. Because it was about slavery. Sorry, Razor Fist, you're dead ass wrong, motherfucker. It was Democrats versus Republicans. It wasn't North versus South. Plenty of states stayed that were Southern states. It was 100% a war started by the Democrats, who have always wanted to fucking own people. Why they want to raise your income tax? Because income tax is slavery, and we are all slaves until we're not paying income tax. The Democrats love slavery, and they love child sacrifice because they're fucking pagans.
Hey, like and subscribe, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The Democrats are pagans
fucking true.
And love drinking
Republicans
baby
are spineless little twit bitches, and the Democrats are evil motherfuckers. I'm sorry. I'll be here all night.
I'll be here all night. No, seriously, folks. That's my schedule.
That's my schedule is all night.
Oh, my goodness.
All night long. All night.
So what,
all night.
have you experienced, because there's recently been a bunch, have you experienced or been even remotely close to a tornado?
We have not been close
and I
to
don't need a
yet.
tornado of racial traits in Elder Scrolls Online. I mean an actual tornado.
Sorry, I gotta go back to this because I live uncapped. The party switch is a myth. You are correct. And
Damn it, uncapped.
I would like to point out, I was explicitly instructed the opposite of this, as were all of us, bro. As were all of us. But yeah, no, I have not been anywhere near a tornado yet in my life. Knock on wood. Let's knock on lots of it. Ooh, because all my stuff is here. It's nice. It's 100% wood, not that fake crap from IKEA.
We're gonna bolt it down.
No, but I think I might. I live on a mountain, so there's that. And I live on a mountain in a forest. Wow. And
I know where you live, and I've looked at it, but I didn't realize it was mountainous. That's awesome.
For the East Coast, it's mountainous. For the West Coast,
it's the base.
It's a hill. It's a hill.
It's part. Yeah. Let's just say it's part of the.
So we didn't think we lived on a mountain, and then when we were in town, they're like, "Oh, you live on the mountain," and I was all, "Wait, what?" No, I live there. And they're like, yeah, so-and-so used to live there. You live on the mountain. And I'm like,
you're 5 feet above the
oh,
rest
you
of the
guys
town.
think this is a mountain? Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
No,
you're this like, is a hill.
I just call it my high horse, but okay.
Like, seriously, we have mountains on the West Coast. They don't have mountains on the East Coast. They have hills.
I'm moving to the Midwest where there's this many mountains.
Don't do it, Salty Papa. Salty.
Is he chatting?
Jibba dinner. Zip it.
He's chibbity chatting.
Yeah.
So
don't be saying stuff
out where
Papa
the
Salty.
Rant goes. Don't forget to like and subscribe because we will yell at you if you don't. But I'm not gonna lie, like advantageous with a forest, and I know there's a river close by. I'm very excited about having a river close by to me. The nature of being on like actually any sort of hill out past the Rockies is almost kind of like daunting. It's like, oh my God, there's a mountain. Oh, it's so cute. I watch a lot of this show. There's a show I watch out of West Virginia, and it's called Barnwood Builders. It's these guys. They're super old school. It's like a bunch of young guys and a couple of old dudes. They're super old school, and it's fantastic. I love their relationship, but them going around in all these historical areas and taking down these old buildings. But there's so much of the area, especially like Appalachia, and those mountains that like they're such old mountains that you don't realize, because it seems so when you're out west, everything's very like mountainous and this and that. And the east seems so flat, but there are some areas that are along the Appalachians that are just so gorgeous. There's rolling hills, there's little mountains, there's this and that. It's so cool. And I would love, I haven't been out to your area of the States yet, or to your place, but I would love to, once I get out there, hit a little of that action, get a little nature. You know that I'm showing up with like 2 different axes and we're just going to town on your property. Not to mention, I have a dope
trees down.
I got a dope tomahawk head, that like a very old vintage tomahawk head that I found that someone painted in some weird like pattern. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay, well, I'm going to be putting paint remover on this. But then like it's this gangster old tomahawk, and we'll find some sort of branch on your property that we'll make the handle out of, and it'll be gangster AF, as the kids say.
Gangster
AF. What's going? Did I miss anything in the comments? What's got?
Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for what Hollywood used to be?
I got no audio.
No audio. Oh, I did it again. Stupid. I really do not like StreamYard. StreamYard's got all these different ways to be like, oh, you want to do it this way? You want to do it that way? You want to do it this way?
That I was doing seemed to work, but I get it.
Yeah, I'm also retarded. So, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want?
He's also a retard. He's also
a little bit slow. I'm not retarded. I'm just a little bit slow.
Just a little bit slow. Wow, the talkies. Hey, moving motion pictures coming to you straight from your local cinema dome.
You live here?
Yes.
Well, maybe you know what a zombie is.
When a person dies and is buried, it seems to certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
Horrible.
It's worse than horrible, because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
Oh my God, it's the Kardashians.
God, you just talked over the fucking punchline! Shut the fuck up!
Oh, good.
It seems to certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
Horrible.
It's worse than horrible, because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
You mean like Democrats?
Oh, man. Classic Bob Hope.
The one thing people are wondering about today.
No, we don't care. We don't care about your shit.
Jeff Ross wants to tell you.
Don't care, Jeff Ross. You know what Jeff Ross looks like? He looks like your Jewish and your Jewish nan who didn't put her wig on that morning. That's what Jeff Ross looks like.
He's way funnier than she was, but nonetheless.
I don't know, man. My Jewish nan was pretty hilarious.
You might have been. She's probably have some shtick.
And she did wear a wig, so.
And she wore a wig. Oh my God.
Don't ever walk over Bob Hope's punchline. What the? Where's your comedic timing at?
Get out. Dude.
You mean like a Democrat?
Talk about dated references.
Oh, dude. Bob Hope.
That was
a national treasure, never voted for a Democrat in his life because he loved America and he loved freedom, okay?
Classic Hollywood, so good.
Dude. Classic Hollywood was all about liberty and freedom, and so they never voted for Democrats because they were for liberty and freedom. And, well, let's be honest. Someone who wants to tax the hell out of you isn't your friend, okay? Okay? And let's be honest, when they talk about taxing the rich, they're not talking about taxing actual rich people. They're talking about taxing you, because rich people don't pay income tax.
New Adventures of Henry wants to know what changed in Hollywood. I would imagine what changed in Hollywood to turn them from making fun of the Democrats to being the Democrats.
I think. Well, a couple of things. I think
it was the culture that was viewing them. It was the look back. It was the fourth wall, as it were.
I mean, I think.
Oh, the people.
I think I think what was really bad is that McCarthyism was seen as something very ugly in Hollywood because the way they went about that. I think McCarthy gets a bad rap, and I think he does. I think he really does, because communism is really sinister, and we see how sinister it is. We look at college campuses and we can see how evil it is.
It is, but at the same time, it's one thing to think of it like a fucking virus, or like, oh my God, he touched her, like now she's a communist.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. But the
way that they conducted it was very fascist and kind of anti-constitutional and anti-American.
Yeah.
And what it did was it empowered the left to use that as a cudgel and a weapon, and they did. They did. And they were relentless at making sure. And so Hollywood was basically one long giant season of Survivor. And the thing about the left is that they're very conniving, and they're very cunning, and they worked really, really hard to focus on who was conservative, like the Ronald Reagans, the Bob Hopes, and alienate them and push them out. And they were very, very effective. And now where it's at is that what happened was they worked behind the scenes. They became executives. They became decision makers. They weren't the grips. They weren't the union workers. They weren't the run of the mill, or even the talent. Yeah. But they got in the office, and they created and they took the power of the executives.
Exactly. You're having non-creatives who have never been part of the industry, who just know about business, now controlling the creative industry.
Yeah, and that's who's been running Hollywood and making the decisions.
Completely changed the industry.
Yeah,
completely. Like when you have somebody who's not who doesn't care about the end. They don't care about the end product per se. They care about what the be all end all is on the sheet in the end, and we look at this as a business. There's no creative, the creative license that the people that we hire that make this so unique, like that doesn't matter anymore. What we need is a product and an end game and a profit.
Yep. And the worst people got into those positions of powers, the biggest parasites, like the Kathleen Kennedys of the world. And they've been able to, and they pick and choose who rises and who falls. And for the last 30, 40 years, there's been a giant litmus test on who gets to work in Hollywood and who doesn't. And that decision is made at the executive level, and that is overrun with communist leftists who are just as sinister, just as wicked, and just as fascist as the bad guys that worship the guy with the funny mustache. I said it.
That's kind of
the funny one, right? The funny one. Charlie Chapman had that.
Maybe I look almost more attractive like this. Here we go.
No, I don't. What an evil...
Oh my God.
Evil bastard. But that's my Hollywood story, and that was my Hollywood experience, because I actually used to be a pretty mild-mannered, classic liberal libertarian.
We both had so many Hollywood
the fascism that I saw working in Hollywood just blew my mind away, dude. Blew my mind away.
I can't.
It was crazy.
Like, there's the most talented people around me, the people that got stuff done on a daily basis, and the people that I thought relied on me to be like another cornerstone of their process, because the creative process is not just I'm doing everything. You're not fucking everything. There are a bunch of people in line. Like, it takes a lot, whether you're an editor or a writer or a producer or an artist. Like, there's a lot going on. But to see the people that let's say there's 10 people, and to see the 4 people that and we all know contribute the most and are the most creative and are the most, like, the best at their job, like, it becomes political, and they go, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
these people, we don't want these people. We absolutely have to keep these two people because these two people are under some sort of like DEI umbrella. And I'm not going to say that that's not like a terrible idea, but that's also a terrible idea.
It's total. I would say it's a terrible idea because the thing about it is like a good story is a good story is a good story, and a good story,
a good piece of entertainment
could be acted by any character. I mean, Shakespeare literally can be acted by any character, right? Denzel Washington can be a great character in a Shakespeare play. Kenneth Branagh can be a great character. Even Keanu Reeves, Michael Keaton can be great characters in a Shakespeare. So acting, it really doesn't matter. But these people are the ones that like won't do Asian stories because they're racist. And then now they're trying to be like, oh, well, we can't have white people either. They're the most racist people ever. And the DEI is the most racist thing because now they're, instead of just focusing on, well, let's just go with the good story. And what's that good story? And what are those characters in that good story? Like, who cares? Now they're like, but no, we have to have this person and they have to look this way. And then we have to have this person and they have to look this way. And white males can only be skinny and effeminate now. They can't be like, you know, like John Wayne. We can't have a John Wayne type character or Steve McQueen type character. They all got to be a homosexualist, right?
That's a trend that fluctuates. But Adventures of Henry brings up a good point. It's like, so a lot of the recent shows and movies have been failing. So why do they keep getting approved? It's funny because like every 10 or 15 years, we have these small groups of shows and movies that they're good. There's nothing wrong with them, but they fail because they immediately lose faith in them. They're like, oh, we're not getting the response that we wanted initially. We have to move on. We have to become and it's not about just being profitable. It's about being the most profitable. They're like, this show is only getting us an 18% return. We really want a 20% return. So we're going to cancel this show. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah. There are genuinely good shows that human beings would have continued to watch. Advertisers would have continued to pay for their ridiculous multi-million-dollar stupid fucking ads to go on. Yeah. And they're like, nope, we're going to go ahead and cancel that show. No, that
but game, also a lot has to do with the nepotism too. Like, so there's been sitcoms, and I can't even think of any off the top of my head, and I'd have to look it up. But there's been sitcoms, those sitcoms that we knew, like from the early 2000s and stuff, where they would like Ryan Reynolds, Two Guys in a Pizza Place.
He was only in
show that got moved around. It got moved from one night to the next night. Wasn't he only in like the first
season, and then it became that other blonde dude?
Yeah. So, but also like, no, they kept moving it around though. They kept messing with the schedule. And so the thing about Hollywood too is it's who's working on the show, who's attached to the show, not just actors wise, but writers, producers. And if you don't have that clout, you're not related to somebody, or you're not doing the right political thing, they'll mess with your crap and make sure that it doesn't find success. Firefly's a good example. It's like they don't allow the show to catch on because they'll move it. They'll change the time even on the same day, or they'll change it. They'll be like, oh, Thursday night show, Sunday night show now the next week. And so the executives figure out who they don't like, and they'll sink their chances, and then they figure out who they do like. And it doesn't matter if the show's good or not, or they have talent. They'll give them the attention. And the honestly, conservative movement like Daily Wire, they're doing the same exact thing. There is no, right now, when it comes to like anything mainstream, there is no meritocracy, not on the conservative side, not on the Hollywood side. And it's why everything sucks.
Hit the like button, as the Baron says. Hit the like button to support the
and watch us on YouTube so we can get the views and get monetized on this left-wing platform that probably hates me.
I mean, we're all hoping we get monetized, but at the same time, you know what? Thank you guys for coming in regardless and listening to this ridiculous sauciness that is two dudes who are just like saltiness,
the salty and savageness.
Look out. Dude, not gonna lie, it's pretty good. Oh my gosh, Simply Green. Everybody was checking what says the answer to that. I mean, this has been a heck of an episode, dude. Oh my gosh.
You live here?
Yes.
Well, maybe you know what a zombie is.
When a person dies and
a zombie
buried, it seems there are certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
Yes.
It's worse
Horrible.
than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own.
No
You
will.
see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
You mean like Democrats?
You live
You mean like Democrat? That's
You
such
see
a
them brainless and no
great
point on a college campus protesting
school.
endlessly,
In
shitting
liber-
themselves.
in liberal arts majors. Hey, now wait a minute.
Hey,
I'm
what? I dropped out of college because college is a joke and a scam to brainwash your children. Don't send your kids to college. Don't go. Don't do it.
I don't know. I mean, college is a pretty awesome social experiment.
Oh, really? You know what's great about college is they go, hey, look, guess what? Pay a ton of money to go to this school, and then we're going to help you get a job. And then you pay all the money and you take all the classes for 5 fucking years that they tell you that you need to take to complete your degree for liberal arts. So, like, I'm going to learn how to draw. I'm going to learn how to sculpt. And then also I have to take this class and women's history and this and bullshit.
Oh,
and all
you
that.
got to take the lubed finger
And then
class.
$250,000 later, they're like, here's your degree. And you're like, oh, cool. So I'm going to get interviews at company. No, we're not going to help with that. But you said that you would help and no, we're not going to do any of that. We lied to you. Get the fuck out of here. Go away. Now you owe us money. Oh, and that job that they promised that you would make, yeah, that pays $35,000 a year. And you're never paying that off because they own you now because Democrats want slaves.
Your degree is worthless. Change my mind. Ma. Ha ha. I'm not going to lie. Like, I like myself better for having got a degree, going to college and having that school social experiment after high school, I think is kind of important for people to expand their horizons. But at the same time, it's like, dude, at this point, what are we even doing? Because you would be today, and this is a different story than it was when I went to college, but today you would 100% be better off going into a welding shop and learning how to be a welder as a guy, a girl, a troll, or a dark elf than anything else. Like you would make more
dark elf.
You would make more money
Khajiit.
and get higher, plus on your mana later if you actually like took a genuine trade. Like the people that are making the most money right
Welders.
now are like people that are
Plumbers.
blacksmiths. Dude, people that are blacksmiths, they're making like, well, first of all, you know me, they're making axe heads, but they're making knives, they're making handles for bespoke like cupboards that cost more than your fucking life. Like it's absurd what they're doing. And that used to be the lowly job that some jerk off did back in the day. And they were like, oh, well, he bangs steel and then he makes the swords for us. It's like today,
I don't think
that's
those jobs
the
were
guy.
ever lowly. I think that
There was a point that they were
educated
lowly.
elite class, the educated and elite class always looks down at jobs that people do with their hands
When you're working,
because they think that they're so high and mighty because they sat around in a room all day long, circle jerking and reading terrible poetry and philosophy and bullshit.
When
like
you
that.
can use-
like assholes like Destiny who just need to be kicked in the dick because there's nothing serious or important about them. Those are the people that go to college and think that plumbers and blacksmiths and welders are stupid idiots, but they're people that actually can survive out there in the world doing stuff rather than being like dicks like us talking online.
Who's Destiny? What's Destiny?
Destiny is a left-wing influencer that Lauren Southern's having sex with. He's a terrible human being.
I'm like, what the fuck is it sounds like a stripper's name, Destiny.
I know, right?
I'm like,
I mean, he's a guy that honestly,
That's a guy?
It's a yeah,
Wait, it's a guy?
I use that word loosely as a guy.
Anyway, nope, it's fine. Anyway.
He's a guy that has clearly never been in a fight in his life because the way that
Whatever.
he debates, he needs to be slapped because he is a bitch. But he's not that smart. He's just swarmy but he's what I see as like the typical college elitist. I went and took philosophy and I took my gender studies major and I'm super important. Why can't you just see my greatness and give me a good job? And then thinks the guy that's making 6 figures a year, banging a hammer on metal is an idiot. And you're like,
can't you see my greatness?
Dude, you look like you smell, okay? Like, at least I know the guy that's a blacksmith smells because he's been working in the hot fires all day and he's going to go take a shower. You look like you wipe your ass back to front and that's nasty, okay?
I can smell the patchouli oil from here. What is going on?
I don't know who
God.
Jesse Lee P. Is that his real name? Dude, that guy
Who are we talking about? Oh, the Destiny stripper,
Yeah,
right?
probably. It's the stripper's name.
Whoever.
I mean, seriously, honestly, dude.
Cinnamon.
The guy's such a homosexual.
Cinnamon, whoever we're talking about.
Dude, seriously, though. Like...
What? I was like, what's a Destiny?
And if you guys think Lauren
your
Southern
Destiny.
is anyone to watch on YouTube, please stop. She's sleeping with Destiny because she's a fake conservative feminist, dude.
Who is this other person you're talking about?
Some chick from Canada that's trying to tell us how Americans should be like, how our politics should be. It's like, bitch, go back to Canada, take your bastard child with you. No one cares.
Look, if you're gonna vote, you gotta do it in snowshoes.
Look, if you're gonna vote, don't do it in my country. Go back to Canada.
Canada. I'm not gonna lie. The pronunciation of Canada is never gonna get old. It's the greatest.
That is what it's called.
You mean
I do not care.
Canuckistan?
Don't care. It's Canada. We will accept Chinadia. We will accept Chinadia.
The Canadian government has apologized for Bryan Adams on several occasions.
The song is not Blame Canada, it's Blame Canada.
Blame Canada.
And like in Fallout, we need to annex it.
I went to
tomorrow.
I went to Canada once, and straight up the first interaction I had, I was at like a grocery store and I was like buying a couple things, and they were like, and I pulled out dollars because I didn't. Let's just say I didn't know I was going to Canada. And,
Canada.
And I ended up in Canada, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I need something at the store. And it was like, I was like, oh, I only have dollars. And they were like, what's this all about? And I was like, oh my God, don't even start. Are you serious?
You were like, go back to Canada. Wait, I'm in Canada. I got to get out of here.
I'm like, don't even start. And they were like, what's this whole don't even start all about? What do you mean? I'm like, okay, I have to leave right now. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Somebody get me out of here. I'm probably going to get shot. I mean, or like thanked profusely until I die.
Thanks profusely. Oh, God.
Oh, hey, thanks though. By the way, hey, thanks though.
Speaking of Canada, do you know what Canada is doing right now?
No, what are they doing right now? Is it
they're collecting all
Are they seceding?
They're collecting all the high powers that exist in Canada. All the John Browning high power 9mm pistols.
Wait, what?
Do you know what a high power is? It's a pistol. A high power 9mm.
Well, I know what a 9mm. What makes it?
We're on the YouTube, so I can't actually show the firearm.
That's fine.
It's called a high power. It was a firearm designed by John Browning. Canadian. A Browning.
Yeah. High
power.
Got it.
A Browning
Sorry.
high power.
Okay. I thought you were giving me some like.
It was the
racial
after,
traits are a high power.
It came after the 1911, designed by the same guy. So they're collecting all the John Browning high powers because it was a very prolific firearm in Canada.
What did Magnum PI carry?
They're destroying them. Wait, because
what?
Canada is communist.
Oh.
Magnum PI.
I want
1911. He used the 1911.
That's why I said it. I was like, didn't he use the 1911? He did.
He used the 1911.
God, it was good looking. Man, that's a good looking gun. That gun is as iconic as the Ferrari he drove.
Not the firearm you would want to have in a fight, but if you had one in a fight, you'd be okay.
You'd be all right. Yeah, not what you want.
I love a good 1911. Don't care. Can shoot that thing straight all the live long day. I'm a big 1911 fanboy, but it's not necessarily.
It's a bit of a wild horse. It's a bit of a wild horse in your hand, but nonetheless.
No, it's not a wild horse. It actually kicks less than a polymer 9mm because of the weight, man. It's such a good firearm.
Which polymer 9 does it?
Like a Glock, a Smith & Wesson, M&P.
Does it kick less than a Glock? Really?
It does kick less than a Glock 9. Yeah, it does kick less than a Glock 9mm.
Okay,
like a Glock 17, Glock 19.
This is a section of the show I didn't think I would get into. All right.
1911 is going to kick less because of the weight. It's a steel frame firearm.
No, I understand. I just didn't think. I felt like the 1911. Like I know I've held one. I've held the Glock, and I'm just like for some reason in my head I was feeling like the 1911 was a little more squirrely on the back end. But maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe you were holding it.
Maybe I was just a shaky little bitch.
Maybe.
Ooh.
But yeah, Magnum PI, Thomas Magnum, he carried a 1911. Never in a holster, just shoved it right there in the back of the jeans.
In his pants.
Like in the 80s, they were like, what's a fucking holster? We don't know. We just put it right in our back of our pants, gangster style.
If it falls down my pant leg, I'll be like, oh, pardon.
Nothing dangerous about that, by the way. Just shoving a gun down there with the trigger not covered, like right in your pants. That's a good way to shoot yourself in the dick or the ass, I'll tell you that much.
As long as you got a lovely leather belt, you should be fine. Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
Do you carry? Like, are there times when you leave and or all the time? I don't know how you carry, but do you concealed carry at all, ever?
Every time I leave the house.
Okay. What holster do you use? Are you one of more the elastic, or are you one of the Kydex right here on the inside of the belt loop kind of guys?
So I use
I'm not trying to ask where you put
I use
it
a
or
really
anything.
cool holster called an Enigma. It's a system that actually does not require a belt because it's
an
its own
Enigma
belt.
wrapped inside of a riddle. Okay.
It's called Enigma. Yeah, Salty Papa says you're wrong about the 1911. Yes, he is.
I probably am. It's that was just.
I use an Enigma holster, and and I have a special custom made Kydex holster that attaches to this system, and I appendix carry, so I don't carry on the side. I carry right in the front because that's the fastest, easiest draw. I don't know. I guess the underarm, like the old school detective. Oh yeah,
carry.
the old school like. Freaking holster, the
Just
shoulder holster.
Yeah. I got
holster.
a classic leather shoulder holster. One of those. I love that. The icon. It is an iconic piece. I am wrong about the 911, and Simply Green is right about it being an icon. And I did, and that's why I brought it up because I was like, didn't Magnum PI you have a 1911? We were just talking about this.
Yeah, he did. He had a 1911. It is one of, it's definitely, that's a good top 5 list. Top 5 best pistols
hand
of
pieces
all time.
Ooh.
The 1911 would definitely be on that list.
Ooh, not bad.
But the thing about the 1911 is like, what 1911? Were you going to do a Colt, like a Colt government?
Like which era?
Or are you going to do like a modern, like a Springfield Armory MC operator? Or are you going to Sig 1911s don't count as 1911s. Sorry. They don't. They are
6 hours nice and all, but that's just not.
That's not a 1911 because it uses proprietary parts that you cannot swap out, and so it is not an actual 1911. It just looks like a 1911. Was looking at a Kel P50, but sci-fi 1911 is also an option.
There's a sci-fi 1911.
Well, there's also
does it look like Blade Runner?
There's also the 2011. The 2011 is a double stacked 1911 that shoots 9mm, and it's yeah, dude.
Like a Blaze? Can you double?
It's a double stack magazine, so it's a little bit thicker.
Oh, it's a double stack mag. Oh,
it's a 1911 on the top. So
I was thinking it was an over under. I was like,
no.
Oh my god, are you serious?
But the grip and the magwell is bigger, so it can take a double stack 9mm magazine.
Love it.
You can get like 20 rounds in a 1911.
Why should I have to reload?
That is awesome. But they're very expensive because they're more on a custom side. They don't get mass produced. Anyways, gun talk. It is 8:45, people, Central Time. I think it might be a good time to call it a night.
Might be a good time to sign off. I think there's other stuff I got to do. I got the mother-in-law in town, but they're all packing boxes, and I'm like in here just, I don't know, having fun and
talking
enjoying
about
myself.
Communists and Democrats and 1911s and Canada.
And Jenny from Forrest Gump.
The worst villain in movie history.
Biggest villain of them all. The gaslighting hooker that is Jenny. You're like, oh, but yeah. What a terrible.
See you next Tuesday, Jenny.
Terrible person, Jenny. You're pretty.
Worst,
you're God damn it, you're pretty, Jenny.
No, she's terrible. Kind of mid, bro. She's kind of mid. Okay.
Well, you feel
What's
that
her
way.
name? Rob Reiner. Was that Rob Reiner's wife?
Robin Wright.
Robin Wright. Who is she married
Sean
to?
Penn's
Sean Penn's
wife,
ex-wife.
Robin Wright Penn, Robin Penn Wright, right. But still, absolutely terrible. I appreciate that the people have stuck with us and are here for the jam.
You know what we should close out with? We should close
What?
out with our great music video.
Which one? I'm not gonna lie, we got a lot of good music videos. We've been
OJ
kinda, like,
did it.
killing it. Oh my
OJ
God.
did it.
That's my favorite.
All right,
Are
we're
you
gonna close
ready?
you out with our OJ music video. We really
right, I
do
got
appreciate you guys being here. Please be back next week. I think we're gonna do Wednesday. We'll let you know if that changes, but we should be go back to Wednesdays
Next week.
at 7 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central,
4
and
p.m. Pacific.
and then 4 p.m. Pacific. And then we really do, and like and share, please like and share, and subscribe. That subscribe means a lot to us.
It does, yeah.
And we really could use it.
We might do crazy stuff when, we
And
get
we
to like
love you
100
guys.
or 200 subscribers, or you never know what happens. I mean, we do crazy stuff without subscribers, so who knows?
And always, like the Baron says, we are always about the anti-PC culture, because PC is just another word for fascist.
I tell you what. Hey, Salty and Savage. Peace out. Hey, it's great talking to you, buddy.
Love you, dude.
Love you, dude.
Unbelievably, the most watched, most wondered about man in America has gone missing tonight.
The intersection of the 5 and the 91 freeway. One thing we have been noticing, again, it's a very slow pursuit, followed by numerous highway patrol vehicles. But because of the intensity, it seems like people have heard about what's going on, and all the overpasses that we've seen have been lined with cars.
Guilty shadows haunt the night. Dark secrets locked away so tight. OJ on the run. Oh, what a sight. High speed chase, sirens blaring in the moonlight. Fame and glory now turned to shame. The taste of freedom lost in this twisted game. OJ, the man with the bloodstained fame, innocent or guilty, who's to blame? Running from the truth, chasing dreams in the night. Oh, OJ, you can't from that faithful light. Guilty shadows follow you, day and night. In the darkness, justice finds a smile.
One of our LA affiliates. Police believe that O.J. Simpson is in that car. Okay. Police believe he is in that vehicle.
911, what are you reporting? This is AC. I have O.J. in the car.
Fame and glory now turned to shame. The taste of freedom lost in this twisted game. OJ, the man with the bloodstained fame, innocent or guilty, who's to blame? Running from the truth, chasing dreams in the night. Oh, OJ, you cried from that faithful light. Guilty shadows follow you, day and night. In the darkness, justice finds its light.